Lin Yu really threatened others for the first time. Moreover, the threatening person is the chief of S.H.I.E.L.D., the most protagonist organization in the Marvel world. However, due to Lin Yu's previous performance, this threatening statement really frightened Nick Fury. Lin Yu really destroyed S.H.I.E.L.D. Although it was only the headquarters building of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was unintentional. However, Nick Fury was terrified when he saw Lin Yu's serious look. He hurriedly said, "Well, I will take you there. Then, take Lin Yu to Dr. Banner and Tony's laboratory. This laboratory is in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters building. Most of the things in the laboratory are prepared by Tony Stark, and all kinds of instruments are quite advanced. And now, this laboratory is being used by Tony and Banner to study the Mind Scepter. As we all know, the Mind Scepter is actually Mind Gem. Among the 6 infinite gems, Mind Gem is one of the very mysterious. And it has some self-consciousness faintly. And Tony Stark's purpose is to use Mind Gem to complete his most ambitious concept, the Ultron Project. Create a powerful conscious life to protect the Earth. When Lin Yu and Nick Fury came to the laboratory, they happened to see 2 strange light clusters in the laboratory. It looks like a human brain. One is blue and a bit bigger, and the other is gold and smaller. As a traverser, Lin Yu naturally knows these 2 light groups. The blue one is the consciousness of the Soul Scepter. And the golden one is Tony Stark's artificial intelligence, Jarvis. And at the moment, just when Nick Fury and Lin Yu walked into the door, they suddenly saw that a blue lightning suddenly appeared in the blue light group, hitting the golden light group. At the moment, it is the moment when Ultron attacked Jarvis and killed Jarvis. Neither light group made a sound, but Lin Yu knew that the current Jarvis must be begging for mercy. However, the dialogue between the 2 intelligent beings did not reach the outside world. And Jarvis's begging for mercy is obviously not effective. At this moment, seeing this situation, Nick Fury frowned suddenly, and he asked in confusion, "Counselor Lin, what's the situation?" Although Nick Fury didn't know about Tony and Banner's plan, the situation in the laboratory now doesn't seem to be normal. It was as if 2 light groups were fighting, and the blue light group obviously had the upper hand. But Lin Yu did not answer Nick Fury's words. Because, at the moment in his mind, a system prompt sounded suddenly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for witnessing the birth of Ultron, the core plot of the Marvel world, and rewarding 2 plot points. The corner of Lin Yu's mouth suddenly showed a sneer. 2 plot points are really unexpected gains, but next, I am afraid I will never let Ultron leave here. However, to eliminate an intelligent life that can exist in the network, Lin Yu is obviously not very good at it. Bumblebee, an intelligent life appeared in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters building. Can you connect to the internet to eliminate it? Lin Yu said to Bumblebee in the headset. Lin Yu can only hope that Bumblebee, a shape-shifting king surpassing the level of Earth technology. Then came the Bumblebee's voice in the headset. His voice is a little uncertain. It seems that he himself doesn't know whether he can stop this life in the online world. Boss, I will try, but Lin Yu is not only this kind of method. The best way to deal with a guy who can shuttle the internet at will is to disconnect the internet. Director Fury, you immediately arrange for someone to cut off all network connections in the S.H.I.E.L.D. building. If this guy runs out of the network, the consequences will be disastrous. Lin Yu's expression is serious. Nick Fury is not the one whose hesitation is indecisive. After hearing Lin Yu's words, he immediately took out the phone and called the agent on duty in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters building. After all, S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters is a special department, so things like disconnecting the network can naturally be done in minutes. The only thing Lin Yu is not sure about is whether Ultron will run away by other means after disconnecting the network. At the moment, under the order of Nick Fury, the entire building's network was disconnected. Not only the network fiber is disconnected, but even the wireless signal is completely shielded. At this time, Jarvis is still being attacked. When Ultron first attacked Jarvis, he disconnected all the networks around him, preventing it from contacting his master Tony. But although the communication function of Jarvis was disconnected, Jarvis was still able to see the situation in the laboratory through the sound collection equipment and cameras in the laboratory. Jarvis naturally knew Lin Yu and Nick Fury. At the same time, it also knows that Nick Fury and Lin Yu are both friends and companions of their owner Tony Stark. In the laboratory, the voice of Jarvis suddenly sounded. Director Fury, Mr. Lin Yu, please inform my master Tony Stark as soon as possible. This artificial intelligence is destroying me. I see destruction in his consciousness. He must not be allowed to escape through the network. The artificial intelligence of Jarvis, Tone Zhang, seems a little anxious. Hearing what Jarvis said, Nick Fury was even more shocked. Jarvis cannot lie. Well, what it says must be true. At this time, Nick Fury glanced at Lin Yu quietly, and couldn't help but feel a little afraid. Fortunately, Consultant Lin discovered it early, otherwise it is estimated that this guy would really run away. At this time, just after the voice of Jarvis fell, another voice came from the laboratory. That voice was also transmitted through the speakers in the laboratory, but it was obviously different from the voice of Jarvis. Obviously, he is the blue intelligent life. Ha ha ha, don't waste your energy, I can go wherever I want, you can't stop me at all. This voice sounded extremely shrewd. This made Lin Yu frown slightly. Don't think about going anywhere today, and even if you run away, I will find you, Lin Yu said coldly. Ultron absolutely must not appear. After this guy appeared, he would create a body for himself in the first place. And that body is Vision. Although because of its own existence, Vision may not awakening its own consciousness. However, even the appearance of that body will not work. At the moment, Lin Yu is like an old hen who protects food. But Ultron obviously doesn't care about Lin Yu's threat. He has tested it just now. Although the network in the shield building has been disconnected, he can still run away. Because the power supply in this building has not been cut off. As long as there are wires, you can transmit your own consciousness. The only disadvantage of disconnecting the network is that he cannot find information about Lin Yu and Nick Fury through the network. However, Ultron felt that it was not important. Just 1 or 2 small humans, no big deal. You little human dare to threaten the great Ultron. When I see you next time, I must kill you by myself, Ultron said coldly. While talking, his attack on Jarvis has never stopped. And at the moment's Jarvis, the light on his body was obviously dimmed a lot. It is estimated that it will be completely killed by Ultron in a short time. But after hearing Ultron's words, the corners of Lin Yu's mouth rose slightly. Threaten Ultron yourself, definitely deliberately. Because what is waiting is that Ultron is rude to himself. If ordinary methods are used, Lin Yu really has no means to deal with intelligent life like Ultron. Even the Hornet can only play a supporting role. After all, Bumblebee can be regarded as a real life, and Ultron, who was born on the internet and can survive in the internet world, is not in the same dimension at all. Disconnecting the network is just a backup option. Lin Yu's true purpose is actually only one. That is the negative mutation method of the system. So far, none of the guys who speak wild words to himself can escape the negative mutation sanctions. However, Lin Yu cannot control the direction of negative mutation. But the system has never lost the chain. Just after Ultron's voice fell, the system prompt immediately remembered. Ding, Ultron, the intelligent life, spoke harshly to the host and triggered a negative mutation. Ding. The intelligent life detected Ultron has no actual body, look for the body for Ultron. Ding. Found the steel battlesuit, which can hold Ultron consciousness and transmit consciousness. In the laboratory, Ultron's horrified voice suddenly came. No, what's the situation? He suddenly discovered that his consciousness was out of his control. It seems to be somewhere. Immediately after, his voice disappeared. Subsequently, the wall beside the laboratory was suddenly opened. A steel battlesuit suddenly appeared in front of Lin Yu and Nick Fury. At the moment, the blue light ball in front of Jarvis also disappeared, and Jarvis's body finally did not need to be attacked. Seeing the appearance of the steel battlesuit, Nick Fury was most puzzled. He didn't know what was the situation of this steel battlesuit in front of him. He can only look at Lin Yu. In this laboratory, Lin Yu is the backbone. But at this moment, the steel battlesuit suddenly spoke. He looked at his hands, his feet, and the steel body. In the tone, there seemed to be doubts, and there was also a hint of surprise. I actually have a body. It's such a wonderful feeling. At the moment, he did not realize the seriousness of the problem. In his opinion, after he had this body, it was easier to escape. After all, there were only 2 human beings fighting against the 5 scums. And on his steel body, there are many powerful weapons, and even flight ability. However, Lin Yu still had a smile on his face. Neither Ultron nor Nick Fury knew what it meant to dare to speak rudely to themselves. And at the moment, just when Ultron's consciousness all entered the steel battlesuit, the system prompt in Lin Yu's mind rang again. Ding. Ultron's body was detected, and the negative mutation began. Suddenly there was a problem with his body's energy source, which was short-circuited. It is expected that an explosion will occur in 5 seconds. Tony's steel battlesuit can self-destruct and explode, Lin Yu knows. Unexpectedly, the cause of the explosion turned out to be a short circuit. Interesting. Lin Yu smiled, quietly looking at Ultron standing by the wall in front of him. And at the moment, when the energy source was short-circuited, Ultron also seemed to have discovered the abnormal condition of his body. He lowered his head in horror and looked at his chest. The original white light there has turned red, and it is flashing. No, what did you do to me? Ultron was terrified. He felt that his body was not listening. Moreover, there seemed to be signs of an explosion. Definitely. The most frightened thing was that he suddenly discovered that his consciousness was actually trapped in this body. Can't get out. No. I can't die here, boom. The steel battlesuit exploded instantly on the spot. The bomb was torn apart. Shards of steel flew everywhere. Lin Yu hurriedly blocked Nick Fury behind him. Nick Fury can't die. This guy is still a promoter of the Marvel World plot. Without him, his future plot points are not easy to get. But Nick Fury doesn't know Lin Yu's original intention. After seeing the explosion, Lin Yu hurriedly stood in front of him, and a touch of emotion suddenly appeared in his heart. Did not expect. Lin Yu, who seemed to be indifferent to outsiders on weekdays, when faced with danger, the first thing he thought of was to protect himself. Nick Fury almost shed moving tears, but the strong self-control made him keep his tears back. If Lin Yu saw it, it would be embarrassing, definitely. Lin Yu at the moment didn't have the time to care about Nick Fury's thoughts. Because at the moment Ultron was killed, Lin Yu was completely attracted by the system prompts in his mind. Ding. Congratulations to the host for deeply participating in the core plot of the Marvel world. Ultron was born out of collapse, and rewards 5 plot points. Ding. Due to the drastic change in the progress of the plot, the core protagonist Vision in the Marvel world failed to appear and rewarded 10 plot points. As a result, many plots in the Avengers 2 Ultron era failed to appear and compensated for 5 plot points. Ding. Congratulations to the host, I got a total of 20 plot points in this plot. Lin Yu was completely stunned by the system prompt. Lin Yu knows that if he changes the plot by a large margin, he will be rewarded with a lot of plot points. The last time Frigga, Queen Asgard, was rescued, the system rewarded himself with plot points. But last time it was not so exaggerated this time. After thinking about it, Lin Yu gradually understood the meaning of the system. Last time, I just saved Frigga, which didn't have a great influence on the plot of the entire Marvel world. This time it was different. I directly killed Ultron in the initial stage. He did not make waves in the Marvel world at all. And the most important thing is that my own behavior directly caused Vision to not be born. Frigga can only be regarded as a small supporting role. But Vision is the protagonist of the real deal, and the owner of the Mind Gem. Lin Yu's approach has a great influence on the plot of the Marvel world. But Lin Yu soon stopped thinking about these messy things. The system decides how many plot points to give itself, which cannot be controlled by itself. But these 20 o'clock are indeed a rather big surprise. Open the system panel, Lin Yu said excitedly. He remembered that his respect seems to be a lot. After Lin Yu's voice fell, a blue light curtain appeared in front of Lin Yu. Lin Yu's eyebrows were instantly overjoyed when he saw this. The plot point on my body has reached 40 points. And more importantly, the system only needs 50 plot points to advance to level 6. In other words, I am only 10 plot points away from the system promotion. Seeing this, Lin Yu became more and more excited. And at the moment, just when Lin Yu was thinking about his way of promotion, outside the laboratory, there was a sudden sound of footsteps. It seems that after hearing the violent explosion, Tony Stark, Dr. Banner and other Avengers also ran up from below. The new headquarters building of S.H.I.E.L.D. is perfectly constructed. According to the original plot, the research on the Mind Scepter was carried out in the Stark Industrial Building. However, because the laboratory in the new headquarters building of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very complete, Tony and Banner chose to study in S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. And compared with the previous headquarters building, this new S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters building actually has entertainment venues. Just now, the Avengers were celebrating in the bar below the S.H.I.E.L.D. building. Did not expect, but I heard a huge explosion from upstairs. But when Tony took the lead and came to the door of the laboratory, he was stunned by the sight in front of him. The laboratory has almost become a garbage dump. Immediately afterwards, Dr. Banner also appeared at the door of the laboratory. Then there are Thor, the United States Captain Steve, and Black Widow Natasha Romanoff. But except for Tony and Banner, everyone else was not so surprised when they saw the situation in the laboratory. Because they didn't even know what Tony and Banner were trying to do in the lab. They just know that they are studying the scepter of the mind. Without knowing it, the two were planning to use the soul scepter to create an intelligent life. If they knew it, these people would definitely stop these two crazy guys. And at the moment, after Tony saw the situation in the lab, he was shocked, and then said, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" He saw the fragments of the steel battlesuit on the ground, and also saw Jarvis, which was a little broken and bleak. Most importantly, he didn't see where Ultron was. "Where is Ultron?" Banner asked weakly. Compared to Tony, Dr. Banner is obviously lacking in roots. His professional knowledge is very strong, but in terms of humanity and sophistication, he is much worse. At this time, the other Avengers obviously didn't know about Ultron, but he unknowingly said it directly. "Really?" After hearing Banner's words, Thor behind him asked suspiciously, "Who is Ultron?" "Who is Ultron?" Steve also asked. Other people also looked at Banner one after another. There was some puzzlement in his eyes. At this time, Tony hurriedly turned off the topic. He didn't want others to know about his research with Banner. Especially if the research has not been successful. What happened here? Why did I see the fragments of my steel battlesuit? Tony looked at Lin Yu and Nick Fury in the laboratory, and finally focused on Nick Fury. Compared to Lin Yu, he is more willing to deal with Nick Fury. But Nick Fury obviously didn't know what happened. He is also a little confused now. Nick Fury looked at Lin Yu, meaning, "You should ask him." The eyes of all the Avengers were all focused on Lin Yu's body. Lin Yu didn't bother to take care of these people. However, when he saw Tony, he suddenly felt, how does this guy look at his eyes? There is a kind of blame. "I helped you solve such a big problem, but you are still a little unhappy?" Cough. Lin Yu cleared his throat, a smile appeared on his face, and then said, "Do you want to know what happened?" Tony suddenly felt that Lin Yu's state was not quite right. But the other Avengers all pricked their ears, wanting to know what happened. In the headquarters of S.H.I.E.L.D., such a big explosion is certainly not a small problem. Your teammate, Mr. Tony, used the Mind Scepter to create an intelligent life that wanted to destroy the Earth, and then this intelligent life almost killed Jarvis. Fortunately, I ran into it and trapped it in the steel battlesuit. He killed. If I hadn't seen it, I guess all the people on Earth would have been killed by Tony. Lin Yu finished. A strange silence suddenly appeared in the entire laboratory. Everyone looked at Tony Stark. Even Banner looked at Tony in disbelief. He asked weakly, "Aren't you saying that you want to create an intelligent life that protects the Earth? How can you destroy the Earth?" Banner's divine assist made all the Avengers frown. This Tony, is it really going to destroy the Earth? Are you crazy? Is it possible that he is also a member of Hydra? Even if it isn't, even if he doesn't want to destroy the Earth, but secretly using the Soul Scepter to make intelligent life behind everyone's back, it was originally too much. Seeing everyone's eyes, Tony's face went dark. He seems to be unable to argue. What I clearly created is an intelligent life that protects the Earth. How can it become the destruction of the Earth? It must be this Lin Yu, who wants to frame himself. But Tony dare not do anything to Lin Yu. Lin Yu's strength and weirdness made him totally afraid to take action against Lin Yu. He can only look at his smart housekeeper, Jarvis. At the moment, Jarvis was just injured, and his life was not in any danger. "Jarvis, you tell everyone, does the one who can only live to protect the Earth or destroy the Earth?" Tony said to Jarvis. Jarvis is not a human being after all, and he does not consider too much human feelings. And he never tells lies. Tony nervously chatted with the golden brain-shaped Jarvis. Now he can only rely on Jarvis to help himself explain. Banner, this guy is obviously unreliable. At this moment, the voice of Jarvis rang in the laboratory. It does not tell lies. "Boss, I saw destruction in the mind of the intelligent life Ultron. He is indeed ready to destroy the entire Earth." Tony was stunned. Did Jarvis also betray himself? How could Ultron want to destroy the Earth? His highest ideological criterion set by himself is to protect the Earth. Instead of destroying the Earth. What a joke. Surprise to surprise, Tony knew that Jarvis could not lie. So, what is going wrong? And at the moment, after hearing what Jarvis said, the eyes of all the Avengers looking at Tony changed. "Jarvis, it is impossible to tell lies. Even if it is a lie, he, as an intelligent housekeeper researched by Tony, can only help Tony speak. But the current situation is that Jarvis has personally said that Ultron wants to destroy the Earth. Well, Tony definitely has a problem." At this moment, Steve took 2 steps suddenly, came to Tony, and said coldly, "Stark, you must give everyone a reasonable explanation." Black Widow Natasha Romanoff and Hawkeye Barton also frowned and looked at Tony. They weren't actually worried that Tony would be detrimental to humans. It's just that, in this situation, Tony must give everyone a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, I'm afraid everyone is not at ease. And at the moment, Lin Yu had already quietly backed up a few steps, and then left the laboratory. Everyone is paying attention to Tony's situation, and no one has seen Lin Yu's departure. Walking out of the laboratory, Lin Yu's mouth showed a slight smile. Everything, successfully completed. With the plot point in hand, Vision cannot appear again. This is the best ending. The other side. Wanda and Pietro finally had a conversation. Both of them have already determined the identity of each other. Pietro is Wanda's brother. But, although the two are indeed brothers and sisters, their feelings are completely different from those in Lin Yu's previous life movies. After all, I just met, and I don't have the feelings of shared adversity in the movie. In this regard, Lin Yu has no choice, and when Lin Yu appeared, ready to take the two back. Pietro also expressed his thoughts. After communicating with Wanda, he learned a lot of things he had done wrong before. So, he decided to join Avengers, wanting to make up for his mistakes. Hearing this news, Lin Yu had no objections. Wanda is also very supportive. Then, Lin Yu called Nick Fury over immediately. Standing in front of the gate of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury looked at Lin Yu with some confusion and said, "Consultant Lin, what do you want me to do?" Lin Yu is very satisfied with Nick Fury's somewhat humble attitude. He patted Nick Fury on the shoulder lightly, and then said, "My brother-in-law, no. My little brother is going to join Avengers, please take care of it in the future." Under the arrangement of Lin Yu, an honorary consultant, Quicksilver Pietro successfully joined Avengers. And unlike Thor and Lin Yu who often don't come to work, Pietro is going to be resident in S.H.I.E.L.D., just like Steve. After all, he has nowhere to go. Although he just met Wanda, he feels that living with Wanda is not necessarily a good thing. Because he has already seen that his twin sister has a deep affection for Lin Yu. Go by yourself, I'm afraid it will be a light bulb. Taking these into consideration, Pietro settled down in S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury is very happy to join Pietro. After all, Pietro's strength, he has seen it. That kind of devilish speed, even in Avengers, can definitely be regarded as the strength of the middle and upper reaches. Watching Lin Yu lead Wanda into the Hornet soared into the sky, and Pietro finally started his career as an Avenger. Just when these messy things happened in S.H.I.E.L.D. One night, a surgeon who ranks among the best in the United States, Dr. Stephen Strange, suddenly got into a car accident while driving. This incident is a very shocking news in the whole circle of doctors. After all, Dr. Stephen Strange is almost the top person in the surgical field. But, in the entire United States, the entire Earth, and even the entire universe, this matter is almost a trivial matter. Everyone's life continues as usual. Only Dr. Strange fell into an extremely miserable life. He has been learning about surgery all his life, but this operation completely ruined his hands. He was extremely depressed. I have searched countless colleagues all over the world, but no one can help him. It was not until someone told him a medical miracle he had seen before that Strange found his goal again. This goal is Kamar Taj. Strange finally set foot on the road to find Kamar Taj. He didn't even know whether he could heal his hands. But he has no retreat. If his hands can't be cured, then he even wants to die. At the moment, Kamar Taj, since Ancient One Magician imparted the power of fell energy to all the magicians under him. Their cultivation methods have changed. Other spells are still being practiced. But their spells already contained the power of fell energy. Compared with their previous spells, after adding fell energy, their spells have become more powerful. And the power of fell energy is not only an increase in their magical power. The evil energy has completely polluted their thoughts. Now, they have all become puppets of fell energy. All cultivation has only one goal, and that is to welcome the coming of the great Gul'dan. Their fell energies all come from Gul'dan. Therefore, if Gul'dan appeared in front of them, they would absolutely obey Gul'dan's orders 100%. Even Ancient One Magician is no exception, but something different from other magicians is that Ancient One Magician also has its own ideas. However, her thoughts are also for Gul'dan's service. At the moment, Ancient One sits at the forefront of the Kamar Taj courtyard, meditating quietly. There is a green light on his body skin, which is slowly flowing. As she practiced, the evil energy in her body became stronger and stronger. And fell energy also swallowed the dark power in Ancient One's body. Now, in Ancient One Magician's body, only the power of evil energy is left. And under the Ancient One Magician, hundreds of magicians are doing the same actions as Ancient One. On the surface of their bodies, there is a green light wandering. But compared with Ancient One Magician, the evil energy in their bodies is much weaker. The cultivation of evil energy, it is indeed very slow to rely on meditation alone to increase strength. Only by constantly absorbing the vitality of other people and turning it into evil energy to supplement oneself, can the evil energy in one's body become stronger. But when Gul'dan was leaving, he had specifically explained to Ancient One Magician, don't be too ostentatious. Moreover, Ancient One also knows that if this kind of power appears on the earth, it will definitely receive the attention of many other forces. There is no benefit to hiding yourself. Therefore, she can only lead her disciples to practice in meditation. And at the moment, just during the routine practice today, Ancient One, sitting cross-legged in the front, suddenly opened his eyes. In her eyes, 2 dark green rays of light suddenly shot out. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Then, he looked at the big disciple Mordo magician who was sitting next to him, and said softly, Mado, you go to meet our new members. Ancient One magician actually foresaw something in the future through Eye of Agamotto a long time ago. Among them, Strange's participation is included. Strange's ability is quite powerful. Before, Ancient One had foreseen that he would replace himself as the new supreme magician. But it's different now. Ancient One's eyes flashed with green light, and she felt that Dr. Strange would definitely like the feeling of being full of evil energy in her body. And Fel energy can not only make him stronger, compared to his original spells, it can even restore Strange's hands to the original. Fel energy, after all, has a part of the power of life magic. After hearing his master's words, Mordo also opened his eyes from the practice. In his eyes, there were also 2 dark green rays of light shining out. As the strongest magician in Kamar Taj apart from Ancient One, he is also very fast in cultivating evil energy. This thing also requires talent. Mordo nodded at Ancient One, then got up and left the yard. And at the moment, Dr. Strange is asking about Kamar Taj everywhere in Kathmandu. But even in Kathmandu, not many people know the existence of Kamar Taj. Just when Strange was almost desperate, he finally have met a group of robbers. The robbers saw Strange's identity as a foreigner and surrounded Strange in an empty alley. And after beating Strange violently, he snatched his watch. That is his last property. His savings were not much. And seeking doctors everywhere before has almost exhausted all his savings. But at this time, Mordo finally appeared in this small alley. There was no green in his skin and eyes. The evil energy was hidden by him. But when he saw the guys who had robbed Strange, a green light suddenly appeared in Mordor's eyes. There will not be any witnesses in this small alley. Since Mordo gained the Fel energy, he has always wanted to try to absorb the feeling of other people's lives. At the moment, finally there is a chance. He finally couldn't help it. A green light burst out suddenly on his body. Dr. Strange was terrified. I thought that the guy who just showed up was here to help myself. But did not expect. A strange change suddenly occurred in his body. There was a green glow all over, and a touch of green appeared on the skin. The dark skin of Mordo originally turned into dark green after adding green, which looked a bit rash. And the strangest thing is that there is a green glow in his eyes that shines through. Fortunately, it was daytime, and if it were night, Strange felt that he would be frightened mad. After the greens appeared on Mordo, the corners of his mouth also hung a curve. Then, in Strange's horrified gaze, he suddenly stretched out a hand. 3 green light bands appeared suddenly, and quickly found the bodies of the 3 robbers. 3 green bands of light connected the 3 robbers to Mordor's hands. It's like a strange connection between them. Immediately afterwards, Strange, who had never believed in ghosts and gods, only believed in science, was completely stunned. He clearly saw that on the bodies of the 3 robbers, a gray thing suddenly appeared, accompanied by the 3 green light bands, rushing into Mordo's body. That thing is like their soul. It's like their vitality again. Just as gray things poured into Mordo's body constantly in their bodies, they themselves began to grow old. The 3 of them are like fruits that have lost their moisture, and their bodies begin to shrink constantly. The skin also began to become crumpled. It seems that in a few seconds, they have experienced decades of life changes. This scene. Strange was completely frightened. He squatted on the ground, propped on the ground with both hands, and kept backing up. The devil, Satan, called Roar in various ways, appeared in his mind. For the first time, Strange's scientific concept was greatly impacted. His worldview began to shake. Mordo's spell lasted less than half a minute, and it ended. The green band of light all poured into his body. At the moment, Mordo had a strange smile on his face. Compared with before, he actually seemed to be a little younger. Radiant. Even the hair looks brighter. It took another 10 seconds before Mordor recovered from that mysterious feeling. He opened his eyes, and the green light in his eyes flashed away. This feeling is so wonderful. Mordor even licked his lips, still feeling unsatisfied. He had never thought that absorbing the vitality of other lives would make himself feel so comfortable. That kind of feeling, as if my whole body was soaked in a hot spring, and I felt very comfortable. And the most important thing is that he can now feel that the evil energy in his body is much stronger. Just now, in less than a minute, the increase in evil energy in his body was definitely more than 1 month of hard cultivation. That's so cool. This feeling of strength growth made Mordor a little indulged in it. He slowly turned his head and looked at Strange on the ground. There seemed to be an excited look in his eyes. This made Strange even more frightened, but fortunately, Mordor is still very obedient to Ancient One's words. Otherwise, I am afraid that the generation of Supreme Magician Strange will stop cooking here. He calmed down, and the green in Mordor's eyes and body disappeared. He slowly came to Strange, and then stretched out a hand. With a smile on his face, he said, "Are you looking for Kamar Taj?" Strange didn't answer in the first place, and there was some hesitation. He turned his head, looked at the 3 corpses next to him, his head was a little regretful and his tongue was dry. "Did you find the wrong place?" The guy who told himself Kamar Taj clearly said that this is an extremely harmonious place. The magicians are also kind and kind. So, is the guy who killed 3 people in an extremely strange way in front of him, is it Kamar Taj? Strange wanted to escape from this place. However, he also knew that he could not escape. There is a strange energy in the guy in front of him. I'm afraid that if he doesn't behave well, he will suck himself into a corpse. "Who are you?" Strange asked pretentiously. He is actually quite uncomfortable inside. However, now he has no friends around him, and no one can rely on him, so he can only find a way to save himself. But fortunately, Mordor's attitude towards Strange is still very good. Although he has awakening the desire for vitality in his heart, he is still very friendly to this guy who has been given high hopes by Ancient One Magician. Smiling, Mordor said, "I am the senior disciple of Kamar Taj Supreme Magician, and my name is Mordor." Strange was shocked when Mordor said Kamar Taj's name. Really? Sure enough, it was from Kamar Taj. But why did the people of Kamar Taj kill? Although those 3 guys are really not good people, they are not guilty of death. Killed them just because they robbed their watch? This is also ridiculous. "I heard that you were looking for Kamar Taj?" Mordor asked again. Strange instinctively wanted to refuse, he was a little scared now. Compared to curing his own hands, he was more reluctant to become that kind of horrible mummy. This method of death is simply too numb to the scalp. But Mordor obviously also saw Strange's hesitation. He didn't wait for Strange to say anything, and grabbed Strange by the arm. Then, he pulled him up from the ground. Without knowing it, he took Strange and walked in the direction of Kamar Taj. But Strange didn't dare to resist at all. He could only let Mordor grab his arm and push himself forward in an unknown direction. Strange wanted to cry without tears. After a few minutes, the 2 came to a concealed little door. With a light push, Mordor pushed open the wooden door that seemed to be old. Behind the wooden door, suddenly opened up. A huge amounts of courtyard appeared in Strange's eyes. And at the moment, in the courtyard, hundreds of magicians are practicing the power of evil energy under the guidance of Ancient One. Seeing Strange's arrival, Ancient One Magician smiled slightly and slowly opened his eyes. In her eyes, there was the same green light as Mordor. At this moment, Ancient One Magician slowly got up and came to Strange's side. Mordor Magician quietly stepped back 2 steps, and then returned to the training team again. But he has no intention of practicing now. After trying the feeling of directly absorbing vitality, he can no longer lift the energy to carry out boring training. After all, it is more direct and refreshing to absorb vitality, and the speed of improving strength is not comparable to that of boring meditation. Forcibly holding back the impulse in his heart, Mordor closed his eyes again. However, the throbbing in my heart can no longer be extinguished. He looked at the magician disciples below, as if seeing plates of delicious food. Can't help drooling. On the other side, the Supreme Magician Ancient One finally chatted with Strange for the first time. Compared to Mordor, Ancient One Magician is more kind. But the fear in Strange's heart was nothing short of it. Ancient One Magician is not omnipotent. She also didn't know what happened during the time when she arranged for Mordor to pick up Strange. So, she thought that Strange had not noticed anything unusual. At the moment, Ancient One Magician smiled and slowly said, "You are Strange, welcome to Kamar Taj." Ancient One knew that Strange was about to become the most powerful of his disciples a long time ago. So, she had been looking forward to Strange's arrival for a long time. Although there is a big difference between myself now and before, moreover, my goal is no longer to protect the Earth. However, she still hopes that Strange can join herself. Strange's ability is very strong, not only learning spells, even the power of learning fell energy, it is definitely not too weak. But, at the moment, Strange's performance made Ancient One Magician slightly stunned. All of his showed a panic on and off his body. His hands kept rubbing the corners of his clothes, and his feet couldn't help but move gently on the ground. These little details are all in the eyes of Ancient One. Ancient One Magician is an old monster that has lived for hundreds of years. If you compare the human ability, I am afraid that few people on Earth can compare him. Ancient One Magician also saw that Strange seemed to have been inadvertently gazing at Mordu, who was meditating aside. It seems that something is wrong. According to Ancient One Magician's knowledge of Strange, shouldn't he now pay more attention to whether Kamar Taj can heal his hands? Why is he always looking at Mordu, and the panic in his eyes is still so obvious? What did Mordu do? Ancient One Magician gradually frowned. She was not looking at Strange, but turned to look at Mordor, who was sitting on the ground. And at the moment, Mordu also seemed to feel the gaze from Ancient One Magician. He slowly opened his eyes, but there was a dodge in his eyes. Mordu, come here, Ancient One Magician said coldly. She seemed to have guessed something faintly. When Master Gul'dan left, he had explained to himself that he wanted to develop in a low-key manner. Unexpectedly, one of my most valued disciples used evil energy outside. Too disobedient. Using the power of the evil energy outside is very likely to expose Kamar Taj. It also exposes the great plan of his master. Hearing the order of Ancient One, Mordu slowly walked to Ancient One's side. He didn't dare to raise his head. It's like a kid who has done something wrong. But obviously Ancient One wants to ask the bottom line. She frowned and asked Mordor, what did you do during the time you went out to pick up Strange? Mordu's heart trembled slightly. Hearing the tone of Ancient One Magician, he already knew that he could never hide it. Simply, he directly confessed. There are 3 robbers who are robbing Strange's things, I sighed for him. Heard this. The green light in Ancient One's eyes flashed away, and his expression gradually became cold. She is very angry now. At this moment, Ancient One suddenly stretched out a hand and pointed at Mordor. In an instant, a burst of green energy appeared on Mordu's body. This green energy rushed to Ancient One's body quickly. And Mordu's face showed a trace of panic. Ancient One Magician, extracting the evil energy from him. Mordo was terrified. For people like them who cultivate evil energy has been completely bound to their vitality. Losing fell energy is equivalent to losing vitality. Mordu's face was getting old at a speed visible to the naked eye. But he has no strength to fight back. This is another characteristic of fell energy. That is, the evil energy in Mordu's body originally came from Ancient One, and that Ancient One Magician can recover the evil energy in Mordu's body at any time. In other words, Mordu's life is completely under the control of Ancient One. In the same way, the life of Ancient One has always been under Gul'dan's control. But fortunately, Ancient One is not going to kill Mordor directly. She just absorbed half of the evil energy in Mordu's body and let him go. However, even though it was only half absorbed, Mordu's current appearance has become very miserable. He looks almost 20 years old. It seems that he has changed from a young man in his 20s to a middle-aged man in his 40s and 50s. Withdrawing his hand, Ancient One said coldly again, have you disposed of those corpses? Mordo hurriedly answered honestly, no, hurry and deal with it, and be more careful in doing things in the future, otherwise, Ancient One reprimanded coldly. The following words were not said, but Mordor already understood the meaning of Ancient One. After hearing the order of Ancient One, Mordau hurriedly turned and left. Go to deal with the corpse, and at the moment, Ancient One turned his head and looked at Strange with a horrified expression on his face. She also understood why Strange looked so frightened. He was frightened by the power of fell energy. That being the case, I'm afraid I can't use coaxing to let him join his team. Ancient One sighed slightly, and then suddenly a hand was caught on Strange's shoulder. Strange didn't expect that Ancient One grabbed his shoulder directly, and he hurriedly wanted to break free. But it was too late. Ancient One actually wanted to follow the temptation to let Strange accept the power of the fell. However, it now appears that this is probably impossible. As an ordinary human being, he will never accept the evil energy that can absorb human vitality. So, there is only one way. the corner of Ancient One's mouth suddenly rose slightly, and the green light in his eyes suddenly became big. A wave of green energy followed Ancient One's arm and poured directly into Strange's body. Strange completely did not resist, and the evil energy poured in frantically. He felt that he was filled with something, and his whole body felt a little swollen. Strange fell. Within a few seconds, he completely let go of his thoughts. Let the green energy rush into your brain and pollute your thoughts. Although he is a powerful magician in the movie world. But now he is just an ordinary person. Any ordinary person, no matter how strong the willpower, can't resist the temptation of evil energy. You know, in World of Warcraft, the powerful human Asgardian Medivh can't resist the erosion of fell energy. What's more, it's just an ordinary person's Strange. And it was when Ancient One magician personally injected him with fell energy. For an instant, a green light emerged from Strange's whole body. Immediately afterwards, in his eyes, the shadow of evil energy also appeared. At the same time, Strange's face also showed a hint of intoxication. The strongest magician in the future of Marvel, Strange, has completely fallen. 2 minutes later, Ancient One finally slowly retracted his palm. This time, she gave Strange a huge amount of evil ability. It is bigger than the evil energy given to any other disciple. Kamar Taj. Strange settled here after possessing the evil ability. And, under the guidance of Ancient One magician, his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. In both the fell and spell directions, they have very strong strength. And at the moment, Kamar Taj was not calm. A disciple before Ancient One magician, Caecilius, began to stir up the wind and rain. He has been dazzled by the power of darkness. I want to bring Dormammu of the dark dimension to the earth. But his strategy is not going to succeed for a while. Recently, Lin Yu's life has returned to normal. When it's okay, soak in the hot springs on the space carrier. Occasionally go to my grocery store to see how the business is. Sometimes I took Erha to go shopping on the street and live a happy life. And since the plot point on his body reached 40 points, Lin Yu has no longer considered the issue of collecting plot points as soon as possible. After all, it was only 10 o'clock to advance. Not in a hurry. Wanda and Sharon also had a pretty good life. The two occasionally visit S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. Sharon is going to see her former colleague. Wanda, on the other hand, went to see her twin brother. At the same time, S.H.I.E.L.D. has never been idle. Recently, the number of Avengers members has increased by 23%. The first is King T'Challa of Wakanda, incarnation of Black Panther, who has joined the Avengers. Peter Parker of New York High School, at the invitation of Iron Man Tony, basically became a reserve member of the Avengers Alliance. In addition to them, there is also Ant-Man Kurt, who seems to be in contact with the Captain of the United States. For the plot points of these people, Lin Yu is ready to harvest. Only, it's not very anxious either. They couldn't escape anyway. A few days later, S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, Nick Fury and many Avengers are having a very serious meeting. Among the Avengers, except Thor, almost all are there. Definitely, Lin Yu didn't go either. Although he is considered an honorary consultant, Nick Fury dare not call him. Because the topic of this meeting is about the Superhero Management Act. The reason is that Ultron, made by Tony Stark, wants to destroy mankind. Fortunately, it was discovered by Lin Yu and eliminated. There were several battles that followed, and there were also a large number of civilian casualties. This matter has attracted official attention. Coupled with the recent period, the people almost all began to worship those superheroes. This is very detrimental to the United States government's management of the people. So, there is this thing called the Superhero Management Act. This bill is actually very simple, that is, every action of all superhero must be controlled by the government. It sounds like it is what S.H.I.E.L.D. is now, and a regulatory agency can be set up to regulate the behavior of superheroes. Originally, in this matter, in the movie world, several superheroes chose to comply with this law. Among them, the leader is Tony Stark. There are Spider-Man Peter Parker, Ant-Man Kurt, Black Panther T'Challa, Colonel War Machine Rod, and even Black Widow Natasha Romanoff. Definitely, in the original plot, there is also Vision that supports the superhero regulatory bill. However, Vision did not appear. But this is not the movie world before. Due to the appearance of Lin Yu, the world has undergone earth-shaking changes. Although Lin Yu has tried his best not to influence the plot too much, he has to say that too many things have changed. Originally, after Ultron appeared, it caused a great disaster to the world. At that time, Scarlet Witch Wanda's ability also influenced the thinking of many Avengers. But now, none of them have experienced this. Tony is still the same Tony, who doesn't feel that he should be supervised at all. The problem is here. Without Tony's lead, and other superheroes have not experienced much disaster. So, when I heard that the United States government was going to implement the superhero management bill, all the Avengers almost all stood in opposition. Captain of the United States, roar buying, in the meeting room. Nick Fury and a senior government officer of the United States sat at the front of the conference table. Nick Fury was okay, he was expressionless, but the high-level official representing the United States government has an ugly face. He pointed to a document in front of each Avenger on the table and said coldly, "Without supervision, there will be no order. This regulation is not restricting you, but protecting you." The other Avengers all sat in their seats, silent. Only Steve, as their captain, is arguing with the high-level official of the United States government. "We will take care of ourselves, we don't need you to set up any regulatory agencies," Steve said coldly. He is very angry. 70 years ago, he had always been an obedient soldier. And now, he doesn't want to be himself at that time anymore. Through observations these days, he has also discovered that the current government is no longer pure. They want to control the superhero's thoughts, and the starting point is not simple. They are doing this for the superhero to serve their politics. But, except for the bachelor Steve, the other superhero didn't speak. Although they all have strong strength, they all live on this earth after all, and they also have family members. They don't want to completely tear their faces with the most powerful organization on earth, the United States government. Only Steve is not afraid of anything. After all his friends are already in this house, and they all have self-protection ability. At this moment, the United States high-level official sitting at the forefront said coldly again, "You have to know one thing, I am not here to ask you to sign this agreement. This is an order. If you do not sign and respect this agreement, then you will be enemies of all mankind, and you will be sent to a military court." The United States high-level official is very strong. In the face of so many strong men, he is not in the slightest. The reason is simple. Behind him, he represents the United States government. And the United States government is the most powerful organization on earth. All the people, all the fishing vessels, are in their hands. As long as they say who is the bad guy, even if this person is a great saint, he will be described as a heinous guy. This is their confidence. The United States high-level official, there is no fear. Even if as a superhero, he has his own life, as well as his family and friends, it is impossible for him to survive without this society. As long as you are in this society, you must obey the orders of the United States government. Hearing these high-pitched words, Iron Man even wanted to blast him to pieces with a single shot. But he still held back, because he didn't want to hurt his wife and family. It is not a good idea to be an enemy of the United States government. In comparison, Black Panther T'Challa is more casual. In the entire conference room, he was the least concerned about the threat of the United States government high-level official. Because he was originally a king, and Wakanda's technological level is not comparable to that of the United States. But he didn't speak, because he didn't care about these superheroes either. He is not very familiar with these people now. At this moment, looking at these superheroes below, they were all scared to speak by their own threats, and a smile appeared on the face of the high-level official of the United States government. It seems that everything is under control. This is the real power. But when he looked at the 3 superhero agreements in front of him, his face suddenly pulled down again. Because, according to the statistics of the United States government, there should be 3 superheroes that have not arrived. Since the agreement is to be signed, all superhero must be signed. No one can be an exception. The high-level official turned his head, looked at Nick Fury, who was sitting on the sidelines, and said coldly, "Director Fury, it seems that there are still 3 people who haven't come." After hearing this guy's words, Nick Fury was taken aback. 3 more haven't come. "No," Nick Fury said weakly. "No, it's already here, even Kurt and T'Challa are here." Suddenly a trace of doubt appeared on the face of the high-level official of the United States government. It seemed that Nick Fury didn't seem to be lying. "However, there shouldn't be any problem with the number of agreements I brought." At this moment, this high-level official of the United States government suddenly took out a pile of photos from the purse he was carrying with him. These photos are one of the materials they prepared. On every photo, there is a superhero, and below each photo, the information of this superhero is clearly written, such as name, height, and even their ability. It seems the United States government has done a lot of homework in order to control these superheroes. After taking out those photos, the high-level officials of the United States government began to compare them one by one. Iron Man Tony Stark, male, age 45, the largest shareholder of Stark Industry Group, owns a steel battlesuit, has strong offensive and defensive capabilities, and has flight ability. Captain Steve of the United States, male, age 108. Spider-Man Peter Parker, male, age 17, high school student in New York City. All the Avengers present bowed their heads and remained silent. This scene is like the high-level official of the United States government buying vegetables in a vegetable market. And those Avengers are like green vegetables. Finally, by the time of the last few photos, the high-level official of the United States government did not match the number. In the photo, there is a woman with perfect looks and figure. Scarlet Witch Wanda, female, 17 years old, an orphan in a New York City orphanage. She left the orphanage when she was 16 and lived in a grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan. She possessed a red energy and was able to flight. When I saw Wanda's photo, Nick Fury next to him couldn't sit still for the first time. There was an imperceptible look of worry on his face. Congressman Brooke, this person is not under the jurisdiction of our shield. He can't be regarded as a superhero. I don't think she should sign this agreement, Nick Fury said slowly. The name of the United States government official is Brooke, who sounds like a very high-ranking member of the Diet. Hearing Nick Fury's words, Congressman Brooke showed a slight dissatisfaction on his face. Director Fury, after all, you are also the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. How can you say this? As long as it is a superhero in the United States, it must be recorded and signed this superhero management agreement. Anyone who does not sign it will be directly regarded. For the entire enemy of Milliken, Senator Brooke's expression was serious. In his opinion, as long as you are in the United States, you must obey the leadership of the United States government. No matter what superhero is, there is no right to choose. In the meeting room, the other Avengers were a little depressed. But when they heard Wanda's name, their eyes lit up slightly. Who is Wanda? How could they not know? That's Consultant Lin's girlfriend. This stupid Congressman Brooke actually hit Lin Yu's body? All the Avengers, the corners of their mouths were slightly curved. It seems that they have anticipated what will happen next. Definitely. The premise is that he does not listen to Nick Fury's dissuasion. Best not to listen. All the Avengers are looking forward to it. Only Peter Parker, T'Challa and Scott Kurt are a little confused. They are here for too short a time and don't know who Wanda is. Definitely. They don't even know what the name Wanda stands for. However, when they saw the faces of the Avengers around them, they all showed a hint of interest. The three of them speculated, is it possible that this woman named Wanda is a little unusual? The Avengers. Even Quicksilver Pietro, after hearing Wanda's name, the reaction is no different from Tony and others. Because he has been in S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while, and he has learned a lot about the glorious deeds of his brother-in-law. At the moment, hearing Wanda's name, he had no other reaction. It's just a little expectant. Now that the name of my twin sister has also appeared, is the name of my brother-in-law also in the pile of photos? At this moment, Nick Fury fell silent after hearing the righteous words of Congressman Brooke. Because he also found a problem. That is, below Wanda's photo, another photo is faintly revealed. There is also a person in that photo, like, very familiar. Nick Fury has guessed who it is. Since Lin Yu is on this list, he has nothing to say. Nick Fury even had a hint of joy in his mind. If this guy really involved Lin Yu, then things might not be that simple. Looking at Congressman Brooke again, Nick Fury nodded slightly and agreed. He doesn't want to argue anymore, because I can't decide anything by arguing here. Let Consultant Lin decide. At the moment, Congressman Brooke was also very pleased to see Nick Fury nodding. He put Wanda's picture aside, then picked up another photo below. Slowly read. Lin Yu, male, 19 years old, from the same orphanage as Wanda, and now the owner of a grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan, ability unknown. Own a strange husky dog? And one that can a shape-shifting car? Asterisk. What the hell is this? Brooke was a little strange, how the big boy described it so unclearly. The other superhero are very clear about their ability, but Lin Yu's ability column, why is it unknown? And how can something like a husky pet dog be written on it? And shape-shifting cars? Could it be that it was the car that appeared in the Stark Industrial Building to fight Obadiah? Brooke is obviously not familiar with Lin Yu. Although he also knows some news, it is not very sufficient. Simply, Brooke put Lin Yu's photo aside. Anyway, as long as they are in these materials, they must be called over to sign an agreement. No matter what ability is. Then, he picked up the last photo. In the photo, Sharon looks like. Sharon, female, 23 years old, former S.H.I.E.L.D. high-level agent, possesses a hammer that releases lightning, and possesses flight ability. Well, this is normal. Brooke nodded slightly and said to himself. Finally, he put Sharon's picture aside. Turning his head, he said to Nick Fury, "These three should be the three people who are missing. Call them now and call them over." Brooke's words were quite commanding, but surprisingly, Nick Fury did not feel any dissatisfaction. He took out the phone, directly found Lin Yu's phone number, and then said, "The three of them should be together now. Lin Yu's phone number is, you can call him and play." Brooke was taken aback for a moment, and said, "You can just call them directly, there is no need for me to call in person." But, hearing Brooke's words, Nick Fury explained with a sneer, "He blacked me out and didn't answer my call, or you should work hard for the congressman to make a call yourself." Nick Fury, an old fox, would not call Lin Yu. The thought of what Brooke is going to let Lin Yu sign a superhero management agreement, he feels sweaty. At this moment, can't rush forward stupidly. Let us talk about who Nick Fury fears most in this world. There is no doubt, it must be Lin Yu. However, he is also inseparable from Lin Yu. As the most frontline organization to protect the Earth, he also needs to rely on Lin Yu's weird power. Although every time I have to pay a lot to get Lin Yu shot. However, he really cannot do without Lin Yu, so. Whether it was fear in his heart or the need to protect the Earth, he did not dare to offend Lin Yu. Even if he offends the United States government, he does not want to offend Lin Yu. It is impossible to call Lin Yu and ask him to come over and sign this kind of agreement. Besides, it's no good, how could Lin Yu be drunk by roar? Nick Fury, who knows Lin Yu very well, knows Lin Yu's style best. That guy, it's no good, even if it's a mess, he won't be able to talk to you. At the moment, in the meeting room, Congressman Brooke looked at Nick Fury, then looked at the phone number on the screen of his mobile phone, and then took out his mobile phone without hesitation. Just make a phone call, what are you nervous about? He naturally saw that Nick Fury was lying to him. It was definitely not the other party who blocked him. But Nick Fury didn't dare to fight, or didn't want to take this muddy water. "Since you dare not, then I will fight," Congressman Brooke sneered softly. As the spokesperson of the United States government, standing behind him is the entire country. Even the most powerful superhero has to be obedient. What's more, just a guy who relies on external forces. Congressman Brooke, holding his cell phone, dialed Lin Yu's number. Lin Yu's phone number has long been thrown away. Lin Yu now wears a headset on his ears at any time. Any incoming call will be received through Bumblebee and then transferred to his headset. At the moment, Lin Yu was lying in the hot spring with Wanda Sharon, and even Erha was throbbing in the hot spring. At this moment, the Bumblebee by the pool suddenly said to Lin Yu, "Boss, there is a call coming in." Lin Yu closed his eyes, with 2 slices of cucumber on his eyelids, and asked lazily, "Whose call is it?" "It's an unknown number, I'll look it up," Bumblebee said weakly. 3 seconds later, Bumblebee has checked all the information on this call. As long as there is something on the internet, it is impossible to be full of Bumblebee. "Boss, this call belongs to a congressman named Brooke. He is now at the SHIELD headquarters and seems to be having a meeting with Nick Fury. There are many Avengers members attending the meeting." Bumblebee found the location of the congressman through the location of the mobile phone. Then through the surveillance camera inside SHIELD, I saw the situation in the conference room. All this was completely done in just a few seconds. After hearing what Bumblebee said, Lin Yu was taken aback. "Congressman of the United States, what do you want to do when you call yourself?" How did he know his phone number? Avengers members are all in SHIELD. Are Peter Parker and T'Challa? Lin Yu asked again. The Hornet nodded and said, "Boss, they are all here, and Ant-Man Kurt is also here." Hearing Bumblebee's answer, Lin Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. "Are the 3 Avengers you haven't seen before? Then, if you were past, wouldn't you be able to see 3 new Avengers at once? And that all belongs to the protagonist." Originally, Lin Yu had been able to meet these 3 guys a long time ago, but Lin Yu thought it was too troublesome to meet one by one. "It's a good time now, just get together. Doesn't it mean that you can receive 6 plot points if you go there by yourself?" "Sure." Lin Yu shook his head lightly, and shook off the cucumber slices from his eyes. Then, he said, "Answer the phone," but Bumblebee was slightly taken aback. "Because the phone has been hung up because it has not been answered for a long time." "Boss, the phone has hung up. Then let's go directly." Lin Yu stood up from the water. Then, he wiped his body casually, picked up a pair of beach pants from the recliner beside him, and put them on. The Hornet also instantly transformed into a car form. Lin Yu was wearing slippers and no clothes on his upper body. He sat directly on Bumblebee's seat. Before closing the door, Erha also swam up from the water. The moment Lin Yu closed the door, he crawled into the Hornet. The Hornet's engine made a violent roar. 6 purple flames sprayed out instantly. Since integrating Reality Gem, Bumblebee's energy has been provided by Reality Gem. Even the flames became purple. The other side. In the SHIELD conference room, Congressman Brooke looked at the call that was not connected, frowned, and his face was cold. He didn't expect that someone would dare not answer his phone. Damn it. Brooke patted the table fiercely, burning with anger. In this world, no one dares not answer his own phone. Director Fury, this guy named Lin Yu is heinous. I hope you can send an agent to catch him back, life and death. Brooke was very angry. He felt that in front of so many people, he didn't even get through a phone call, which was a bit embarrassing. This will have a very bad effect on my future work. But, after hearing Brooke's call, Nick Fury smiled slightly and said, Congressman Brooke, are you kidding me? You all know Lin Yu is a superhero. How can I catch him as a little shield? Nick Fury definitely will not listen to Brooke stupidly. And, catch Lin Yu? What a joke. Have the ability to do it yourself. At that time, I guess I don't know how to die. Good, good. Brooke even said that 3 lives are good, and the anger in his heart can't be concealed completely. He felt that Nick Fury, who did not obey his orders at all, was simply against the United States as a whole. You can, when I go back and report to the Congress, you can wait to be deposed, Brooke said angrily. At this moment, he picked up the phone again and dialed another phone number. On the phone, a voice soon came. Congressman Brooke, it's been a long time since I saw you. What can I do if you call? The voice on the phone seemed very kind. At least his attitude is much better than Nick Fury. Brooke said viciously, General Mike, I'm in New York now. I hope you can send troops to help me catch someone. On the phone, General Mike's voice came again. Who? General Mike is a general of the New York Military District. After General Ross lost his military power, he was appointed to the command of the New York Military District. The New York Military District is now stronger than when General Ross was before. In New York, it is easy and simple to catch individuals. Brooke said angrily. A guy named Lin Yu lives in a grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan. On the phone, General Mike asked again in confusion, is it an ordinary person? He heard the anger in Brooke's tone, but, is an ordinary person worthy of the other party's anger? It's not an ordinary person, so you have to send more soldiers. It is best to bring some weapons of mass destruction. Tanks and airplanes are also used. Brooke is really angry. After hearing Brooke's words, General Mike hesitated a bit and said, okay, then I will send troops over now. As a general, when facing these politicians, he still has no choice. If it was General Ross, he would certainly not care too much about a small congressman. Mike can't do it on time, his qualifications are still very poor, and he must rely on these politicians to get in the military. And Brooke is obviously one of the most popular politicians right now. However, just when Brooke just hung up the phone, the door of the SHIELD meeting room was suddenly pushed open. A young man wearing beach pants and shirtless, as if he was not awake, walked in. You want to send an army to arrest me? You are really awesome. Lin Yu heard Brooke's crazy voice outside the meeting room. Did you ask a tank or plane to catch yourself? It sounds like the style of General Ross. It's a pity that General Ross is already dead, otherwise the two of them they can worship. At the moment, hearing this voice, all the Avengers turned their heads and looked at Lin Yu who had just walked in behind. Suddenly there was a hint of joy on everyone's faces. This is their first time, so hope that Lin Yu will come. There was also a smile on Nick Fury's face. He quietly moved his seat and withdrew aside. It was a little farther away from Congressman Brooke. And at the moment, seeing Lin Yu's arrival, Congressman Brooke was also a little confused. It only took a few minutes to call himself, but he has already arrived here? Is it possible that he was already on the road before calling? Congressman Brooke definitely didn't know that Lin Yu's space carrier was actually over New York, not far from the SHIELD headquarters. Coupled with the speed of the Bumblebee, a few minutes to get here is considered slow. Are you Lin Yu? Congressman Brooke asked coldly. At the moment, Lin Yu didn't have time to take care of him. Lin Yu directly found a seat and sat down beside Tony. Tony leaned to the side in shock, leaving a lot of space for Lin Yu. At this moment, in Lin Yu's mind, the system prompts kept ringing. Ding. Congratulations to the host for first meeting Black Panther T'Challa, the core protagonist of the Marvel world, and earning 2 plot points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for meeting the core protagonist of Marvel world Ant-Man Kurt for the first time and earning 2 plot points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for seeing Spider-Man Peter Parker, the core protagonist of the Marvel world for the first time, and earning 2 plot points. 3 consecutive system prompts directly gave Lin Yu 6 plot points. It's wonderful. Lin Yu grinned, raised his head, and looked at the 3 T'Challa sitting at the conference table. I ignored Congressman Brooks' question, but got up and walked in front of T'Challa, stretched out one of his hands, and said, "Welcome to the new members." T'Challa also reached out and shook hands with Lin Yu. Next, Peter Parker, and finally Scott. Lin Yu is very happy today. With these 6 plot points, it only takes 4 points to upgrade your system. At 4 o'clock, it should be easy to get. Therefore, Lin Yu is in a good mood. But Brooks' mood is a little awful. This abominable Lin Yu, even if he came to the meeting without wearing a shirt, he ignored himself. I represent the entire Malecan. But Congressman Brooke is not stupid, and he is able to achieve the position of Congress without relying solely on his own money. He is also very smart. Seeing that Lin Yu ignored him, he no longer asked himself to be boring, but turned his head and looked at Nick Fury. "Director Fury, I order you to arrest Lin Yu who disobeyed the order now," Brooke said coldly. Hearing this, Nick Fury was shocked. This guy, is this going to pull himself into the water? Do not. Resolutely impossible. If Lin Yu is away, I can accompany him in acting. But now, Lin Yu is sitting across from him. If you want to fight against Lin Yu, you would rather fight against the entire United States government. Nick Fury got up from his seat for a moment, looking at Congressman Brooke with anger on her face, and said categorically, "Congressman Brooke, although you have a higher official position than me, you can't order me to do such shameless things. Mr. Lin Yu has saved the earth from fire and water many times. He is the great hero of the earth. It is too late for us to admire him. Can catch him." Nick Fury looks like a rooster in heat. Brooke was stunned. The Avengers present were also stunned. Just now Nick Fury still feels like playing soy sauce, but how come he is like a different person now? Everyone couldn't help but looked at Lin Yu, who was sitting on the conference table. His feet in slippers did not know when he had reached the table. Suddenly, I understood. Lin Yu, the great god is here. If you ask Director Fury to catch him, it is simply the death of Director Fury. After Brooke was taken aback, his mood became more and more angry. Did not expect. This S.H.I.E.L.D. director even dared to defy his orders openly, and he didn't want to live anymore. He turned his eyes slightly, looked at the Avengers present, then pointed to Lin Yu and said, "Whoever of you caught him, I will write a report to it immediately and let him be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Brooke thought, well, use the position of the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. to seduce these people. But he didn't know that these people didn't care about the position of director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And who dares to catch Lin Yu? Except for the 3 newcomers, no one else has suffered from Lin Yu. Even Lin Yu's eldest brother-in-law didn't get any benefits. Seeing all the Avengers before him bowed their heads, Brooke became even more angry. His body was even trembling with anger, and at the moment, at the feet of Lin Yu, a fat dog suddenly struggled and climbed to the conference table. The fact that Lin Yu put his feet on the conference table had already made Brooke feel that his dignity had been greatly challenged. Now it is even more uncomfortable to see a dog jump directly onto his conference table. His anger was completely released. He even pulled out the pistol directly. No one thought that a congressman would carry a pistol with him. In the United States, ordinary people can carry firearms. Therefore, a congressman has more power to carry a gun. Congressman Brooke, who was at the moment, was completely annoyed by Lin Yu. He even forgot that Lin Yu is still a superhero. And superhero has its own ability. For these things, Brooke has long forgotten them all. Now, he just wants to blow Lin Yu with one shot. Boom. There was no time for everyone to reflect, nor time for Nick Fury to stop, and Congressman Brooke shot directly. He still hasn't lost his mind completely, because he shot Lin Yu's pet dog. Even if a dog is killed, there is no big problem. If you kill a superhero like Lin Yu, the problem will be big. Brooke has his own thoughts in his heart. Killing this pet dog will calm his anger a little bit, and it seems that Lin Yu attended the meeting with this dog, and he must have a good relationship with it. In this case, killing this pet dog can be regarded as a lesson for Lin Yu. However, after the gunshot sounded, the imaginary situation where the dog was shot to death did not happen at all. Dog, standing on the conference table intact. It seems to look at himself with a look of luck. There seemed to be some strange gazes in his eyes. Brooke looked at the surrounding Avengers and Nick Fury suspiciously. He suddenly found out. Everyone's expressions seemed to be a bit exaggerated. Looking at myself, it was also a little strange. It seems that I did something wrong. What did you do wrong? Brooke was suddenly puzzled. Why is it strange that everyone looks at them? Shoot yourself. What's the problem? He didn't understand at all why these Avengers thought of him like this. Do not. He suddenly realized another problem. That dog. Why is there nothing at all? I have fired my pistol, and I have even seen the bullet hit the dog. But why is it still standing on the table, staring at itself? I didn't see any wounds on its body at all. Is it possible that you beat yourself up? No, my marksmanship should be considered very accurate. But Brooke was getting angry, thinking so much. He raised the pistol in his hand again, and at the moment, whether it was the Avengers or Nick Fury, all quietly stepped back. They seemed to have guessed the next ending. This silly congressman actually shot Lin Yu's pet dog. That pet dog is nothing good, it's cannibal. The fastest record is that when I was at Sokovia last time, I ate more than 100 people in a few minutes. A small congressman, although he is a bit fat, he probably doesn't even stuff his teeth. At this moment, Lin Yu is also a little bit reluctant. He thought the congressman was very arrogant, but he didn't expect to be so arrogant. It was shot in front of Nick Fury and so many Avengers. It's fine if he doesn't know himself. Don't he even know these people here? What does he want to do? You know, the Avengers here are all the core protagonists of Marvel. They gathered, and the whole Marvel world was shaking 3 times. This congressman is too arrogant. But Lin Yu thought for a while and understood. This congressman is so arrogant for a reason. Behind him stood the whole Melecan. In the world of Marvel movies, whether it is the United States government or the United States military, they are extremely clever. In this way, his performance is considered normal. But how did the special cat bully me? I clearly didn't provoke him. Lin Yu is somewhat innocent, and at the moment, when Congressman Brooke raised the pistol again, Erha suddenly turned his head to Lin Yu. There was a hint of questioning in his eyes. As the owner of Erha, Lin Yu instantly understood the meaning of Erha. This dog, when looking at him with this kind of eyes, has never meant anything else. Every inquiry is a question. That is, this person, can you eat it? In Guzi's thoughts, humans are divided into 2 types. One is edible and the other is not. There is only one boundary between these 2 kinds of human beings. That is, the owner agrees or disagrees. You can eat if you agree, and you can eat if you don't agree. Erha is not very picky. It's just that I sometimes spit out the shoes if I dislike those with stinky feet. At this moment, facing the dog's question, Lin Yu nodded slightly. When Lin Yu's head just clicked for the first time, Erha's eyes lit up instantly. This is why it has to follow Lin Yu every time. Because only when you come out can you have a chance to eat something. On the space carrier, there are no humans to eat for themselves. Boom. Brooke shot again. This shot was directed at Erha's head. But what shocked Brooke was that in his line of sight, the dog suddenly opened his mouth, and then took a bite into the air. Immediately afterwards, Brooke saw things that he would never forget. In the dog's mouth, between his teeth, there was a yellow thing biting unexpectedly. It seems like a bullet. Do not. Either it is like a bullet. It was the bullet shot by himself. Brooke was stunned. This dog does not seem to be an ordinary dog. He hurriedly pulled the trigger again. Boom boom. 3 shots in a row. However, Erha's head has become a huge amounts of dog's head. The open blood basin has a big mouth, even bigger than Brooke's fat belly. All those bullets were swallowed by it. Then, in Brooke's horrified eyes, Erha jumped up. The disproportionate body unexpectedly crossed a distance of several meters under a jump and came directly to the top of Brooke's head. It was suddenly dark. Along with some sticky things, there was a tingling sensation from the neck that was pierced by something sharp. Brooke lost consciousness. His head was directly bitten off by Erha. A headless body crashed into the conference room. I don't know when. Erha suddenly fell in love with human eating brains. Compared to the body, it seems that the head is more delicious. It seems to have been after the slaughter. I don't know if it's a taste change. Definitely. Eating his head first does not mean that Erha has given up Brooke's body. He jumped to the ground, then opened his mouth wide, and then swallowed Brooke's entire body into his stomach. The whole meeting room was silent. Only the sound of swallowing came from Erha's mouth. All the Avengers, as well as Chief Shield, Nick Fury, were frightened by the sight in front of them. They know Erha cannibalism, and they have seen Erha cannibalism, but they have never seen it so close. Erha's big mouth of blood basin is like the entrance to hell, and they can even hear the roar of the squally wind from hell from Erha's mouth. Especially T'Challa, Peter Parker and Scott Kurt, who just joined Avengers, were completely stunned. This is the first time they have seen such a horrible scene. At the moment, they all looked at Lin Yu, who was sitting not far away from them, with a hint of horror in their eyes. None of them have experienced cruel wars, and they are still a little immature. And Lin Yu gave them a lively education course. At this moment, Erha finally swallowed all the food into his stomach. It changed back to that plump husky again. Then, after struggling to jump a few times, he gave up his plan to climb up to the conference table again. From below the conference table, he walked slowly to Lin Yu's feet and rubbed twice. Lin Yu kicked Erha out with disgust. Not only was the two women in the family disgusted with Erha, Lin Yu didn't want to be with Erha when he had just finished eating. After all, who knows if there is any minced meat in the corners of its mouth. At this moment, Lin Yu finally stood up slowly. Now that the plot points have been taken, it doesn't make much sense here. Lin Yu yawned, then waved his hand casually, and said, "Okay, you can continue the meeting, don't send me away." Turned around. "Leave. Do not take away a cloud." Only Nick Fury and the Avengers in the meeting room were left looking sad. But, just outside the gate of S.H.I.E.L.D., Bumblebee suddenly said, "Boss, a group of soldiers went to the grocery store. They are expected to arrive in 2 minutes. There will be about 100 people. There are 2 armed helicopters, 5 armored vehicles, and 10 powerful sniper rifles." Lin Yu was slightly startled when he heard what Bumblebee said. Unexpectedly, the military came so quickly, and, compared to the previous General Ross, it is much more prestigious. Helicopters and armored vehicles were actually dispatched. I really think my grocery store is a military fortress. But, after knowing the news, Lin Yu was not in a hurry. Lin Yu knows the defense of the grocery store very well. Regardless of weapons, it is impossible to manage your grocery store from the outside. After all, the grocery store is bulletproof. Moreover, missiles are also bombs. Even the doors of the grocery store are made of vibranium. It can't be destroyed by ordinary weapons. In addition, although the 3 of them and Wanda Sarong are not in the grocery store is not without fighting power. Little Red Braid, still in the grocery store. This guy, ever since he became a member of the grocery store, he has been in the grocery store and rarely goes out. But, his strength is not comparable to that of an ordinary human army. After all, Lin Yu has allowed the riot to integrate into Xiao Hongzu's body. Although the riot suffered serious injuries during the fight against Erha, ordinary weapons did not have much effect on it. But, just to be on the safe side, Lin Yu still decided to go and see for himself. Look at which military district's army dare to hit your own grocery store. Lin Yu smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, got into the Bumblebee, took Erha with him, and flew into the sky. Flew in the direction of the grocery store, at the moment. In the S.H.I.E.L.D. conference room. After Lin Yu left, the needles were still audible in the entire conference room, and it was extremely quiet. None of the Avengers recovered from the shock just now. Although these people have more or less killed people, they have never seen such a horrible scene. That pet of Lin Yu bit off Congressman Brooks' head in one bite. It's like eating a small dessert, completely effortless. When this happened before their eyes, it really made these Avengers a little dazed. Nick Fury felt the same way. He and Lin Yu have the most intersection, but he still has lingering fears. Even when he recalled the times when he was in contact with Lin Yu, he was a little scared. In case I accidentally offend Lin Yu, I am afraid I will never live now. At the same time, he also thinks he is very smart. I decided not to give Lin Yu a big phone call, and then after Lin Yu arrived, I stood on Lin Yu's side as soon as possible. This was my smartest decision. Otherwise, that dog, maybe it will eat itself. Thinking about it, Nick Fury even sweated a little on his forehead. After a few minutes, Steve slowed down first. He stood up and came to Nick Fury's side. He lowered his head and looked at the chair that Congressman Brooks used to make. To Nick Fury, he said, "Chief Fury, how can the death of the congressman be explained to him?" Steve's words instantly brought Nick Fury back from the trance. Yes, this guy was eaten by Lin Yu's Erha in front of him. How should I explain to the above? Confess Lin Yu. No, no, no. Nick Fury hurriedly stopped his suicidal thoughts. Even if Lin Yu didn't care, he might not even know it, but Nick Fury didn't want to take the risk. No matter how bad the situation is, it is impossible for him to confess Lin Yu. If you let Lin Yu know, the relationship between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Lin Yu's hard work will be completely broken. Even his own life will no longer be safe, so how should I explain it to the above? Nick Fury showed a sad face, slapped the table vigorously, and said to the Avengers present, "Everyone is brainstorming, and help me think about what kind of reason I should fabricate." This is indeed a big problem. All the Avengers, even T'Challa, were thinking. After all, Nick Fury is a friend. Among friends, it is also necessary to help. For a while, the SHIELD conference room became calm again. At the same time, 58th Avenue in Manhattan. Lin Yu in the grocery store. Although both Lin Yu and Wanda went to the space carrier, Lin Yu's grocery store is still crowded. As long as people who have been here once, they will never go to other places to buy things in the future. Lucky Cat is also a level 4 mutant. Among Lin Yu's many variants, it can no longer be regarded as the strongest. But to deal with some ordinary people, it is really overkill. The daily income of the grocery store is astronomical. Definitely. No matter how much money there is, it won't make it to Lin Yu's pocket. Sisters Wanda and Sharon come to collect money every 1 or 2 days. Except for the necessary expenses in the grocery store, there will never be excess money left in the grocery store. But Lin Yu also has no need for money. With Bumblebee, Lin Yu can even use Bumblebee to control the bank system to get as much money as he wants. But Lin Yu never did this. For Lin Yu, money is just a number. In fact, it's useless for Wanda to ask for so much money, she just likes to have a lot of money. The life in the orphanage has created her current hobby. At the moment, it's not too early, it's already past 9 o'clock. In the grocery store, the last customer finally left the door of the grocery store with his beloved merchandise after paying the money. And Xiao Hong Braid finally let out a long sigh of relief. A busy day, although very tired, but because of the symbiote riots integrated in his body, there is still no problem physically. The only thing is that the spirit is a little tired. What he wants most now is to have a good rest in bed. But he could not rest, because the riots are already starving. Since integrating the riots, Xiao Hongzhu's appetite has directly increased more than 5 times. The riots need to eat a lot of food, so as not to consume Little Red Braid's life. Otherwise, Little Red Braid won't be able to live long before she will be exhausted. In order to make himself full, Lin Yu specifically told Wanda to leave enough money for Xiao Hongzhui to buy food. Moreover, the riots have surrendered to Lin Yu, and will not eat people everywhere. So, between Little Red Braid and Riot, getting along with each other is fairly pleasant. Just sent away the last guest. Little Red Braid is about to close the door and cook for the already hungry Riot. And at the moment, when Little Red Braid appeared at the door, in his mind, the Riot suddenly said, "Someone is coming." Little Red Braid was a little absent-minded, and said casually, "The door will be closed when someone comes. I have to cook. I really want to go to bed early." Xiao Hongzhu thought that the person who was talking about the riots was a customer. Riot hurriedly explained, "It's not that the customer is here, you idiot, you are a group of uninvited guests." Uninvited guests? A group? Little Red Braid was taken aback for a moment, and hurriedly looked out the door. However, in the dark night, nothing can be seen. Since taking over this grocery store, no one has dared to come here to go wild. The nearby gangsters have already been cleaned up by the Lucky Cat. At this moment, in Xiao Hongzhui's mind, the riot sounded again. 1, 2, 3, 100, 101. A total of 120 guys in uniforms, all with weapons in their hands. There are 5 strange chariots in the distance, and 2 helicopters in the sky. The riot suddenly became excited. After living on the earth for so long, he has known a lot of things. Such as airplanes, such as weapons, and he is so stupid to exchange such wonderful food for humans. You said, if these people rush in, it should be considered a legitimate defense if I eat them. The riot suddenly controlled Xiao Hong Braid and went back to the grocery store. And quietly turned off the light. The riotous silver body suddenly covered the body of Little Red Braid. He stuck out his long tongue and licked it on his lips. The water is flowing. Compared to the slaughter parasitic on Erha, the riotous life is simply too boring. He can't bear it anymore. Today, it seems to be a great opportunity. A chance to refresh yourself and eat a big meal. Under the influence of the system, there are not many options for riots. He had to obey Lin Yu's order, and Lin Yu chose a Little Red Braid who never went out as his host. Little Red Braid is a clerk at Lin Yu's grocery store. There is only one person watching the store. He usually has very little time to eat, let alone take him out for food. And the customers who came to the store, he didn't dare to do anything to them. That's Lin Yu's customer is God. So, the riots are suffocating these days. When I felt that there were malicious people, and there were still so many people, the riots were extremely excited. After turning off the lights, the whole grocery store was plunged into darkness. The open door is like an abyss behemoth that chooses people and eats away. It's just that those soldiers of the United States don't know what they are about to face. After General Ross, the United States soldiers have gone through a lot of rotations. The entire New York military district has basically undergone a major exchange from top to bottom. Definitely. There are also those old people from the time of General Ross. Small number. There is one in the team of 100 people. His name is Jerry, and he is the co-pilot of one of the armored vehicles. When he learned that their combat target was a grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan, he was frightened. He was praying along the way, and quietly talking to the teammates sitting on the main driver about some weird pasts about the grocery store. It's just that the teammates sneered at this. Jerry, your brain is convulsed, it's just a grocery store. We have dispatched so many troops, even armored vehicles and helicopter gunships are used. How can it not be attacked? Is it possible that the grocery store has copper walls and iron walls? Jerry's the teammate said coldly. He thought Jerry was a little crazy. When you go back, you must report to your superiors, and then replace Jerry. A teammate with a problematic mind, being his own co-pilot, is very likely to harm himself at a critical moment. And at the moment, getting closer to the grocery store, the look of panic on Jerry's face became more and more intense. He muttered to himself. No, you don't know, the news has been blocked by the military. This grocery store is full of demons. The destruction of the New York military base was caused by the monsters in this grocery store. His teammate snorted coldly. Said, the last time the New York military base was destroyed, it was said that aliens did it. Is it possible that this grocery store was full of aliens? No, they are more terrifying than aliens, Jerry said tremblingly. Although the two were talking, the armored vehicle had arrived not far from the grocery store. They were able to see through the bulletproof glass in the front of the armored vehicle, the black hole of the grocery store door in the distance. At the moment, suddenly an order from the commander-in-chief came through the headset. All the armored vehicles, aim at the grocery store. All the snipers, find their own sniper positions. The gunship, provide lighting support, monitor the nearby area, and don't let the target run away. The first assault squad, enter the target area, search and capture, and the second assault squad, take care of it from the side. Immediately afterwards, after the commander's order was given, a heavily armed squad walked towards the grocery store in the dark night. Although this team carries a large number of weapons of mass destruction, they will not use them unless they are a last resort. After all, this is Manhattan, the most prosperous place in New York City. If the missile is used rashly, I am afraid it will cause great losses to other citizens. Therefore, they chose to use the assault team first to launch an attack on the grocery store. At the moment, when the team started to go to the grocery store, Jerry in the armored car began to become more nervous again. He even started muttering in the mouth of the gods and gods, as if he was praying. In this regard, his teammates can only look at him in disgust. There is no way. You can't kick him off the armored car in battle. At this moment, just when the first assault team walked into the grocery store, sudden, the horrified cry of the assault team members came from the earphones, accompanied by countless random shooting sounds, as if they were engaged in a fierce battle. Hearing this voice, the commander seemed a little surprised. In his opinion, sending out so many troops just to catch a grocery store owner is indeed a bit of underachievers. When the first assault squad entered the grocery store, he was still thinking whether the owner of the grocery store had offended the official boss, so that General Mike sent so many troops to arrest him. But I didn't expect it. There was real resistance in that grocery store. And, listening to the sound from the headphones, it seems that the resistance is quite fierce. What's the situation? The commander was sitting in one of the armored vehicles, frowning suspiciously. However, in such a fierce battle, the first team did not return any useful news at all. He hesitated a bit, and then commanded to the communicator, "Second team, support immediately, don't accidentally injure teammates." Under his order, the second team on standby quickly rushed into the grocery store. But, at this time, the door of the grocery store suddenly fell down. It seemed that the people inside closed the door. This made the commander of this team even more puzzled. It is impossible that his own person closed the door. Who the hell is that? Is it possible that the other party really wants to wipe out these two teams? Are you kidding me? The members of these two teams are all elite fighters, and they are almost armed to the teeth. The body armor is also the best. It is impossible for ordinary firearms to cause any harm to them. At the same time, in the communicator, there was a roar of surprise again. Surprised roar was accompanied by a scream. Seem. Those two teams are experiencing something terrible. Something's wrong. The commander panicked. The situation seems to be developing in a direction that I don't understand. In such a place, if he damages his two elite teams, he will definitely be punished. The third assault squad, prepare to break the door, and respond to the first squad. The commander hurriedly ordered again. Under his order, another small team came to the door. In their hands, a team member directly took out a miniature bomb and fixed it on the rolling shutter door of the grocery store. After installing the bomb, the team members stepped back a few steps, squatting on the ground, dragging their heads with their hands. Boom. There was a violent explosion, however. What caught everyone's eyes was that the rolling door, which didn't look strong at all, was not damaged at all. What the hell? Can rolling shutters withstand bombs? Everyone is blinded. The supporting team also froze in place. They don't know what to do. In their hands, there is only a bomb that can break the door. The bomb doesn't work. You can't use an assault rifle to break the door, right? This scene made the commander's mood more and more tense. He squinted, looked at the grocery store in the distance, and made a decision in his mind. The third squad retreated, and the armored vehicle number 1 was ready to blast the door open for me with armor-piercing bullets. The commander viciously ordered. In the communicator, the screams and roar sounds of the first 2 teams have been heard, and they are getting weaker and weaker. He can't care too much. It is very possible to use armor-piercing bullets to cause harm to your own people in the grocery store, but if you drag it this way, I am afraid that the first 2 teams will be wiped out. Under the order of this commander, the third team quickly evacuated the scene. One of the 5 armored vehicles drove a few steps forward and raised a turret on the top of the armored vehicle. The fort is not big, and the hull is not thick. But inside, it is the latest armor-piercing projectile developed by Hanmer Industries. Even in the face of a tank, it can be fatal in one blow. No hesitation. A fierce flame erupted from the barrel above the armored vehicle. An extremely sharp armor-piercing projectile with the thickness of an ordinary person's arm flew toward the rolling door of Lin Yu's grocery store. All the soldiers waited with bated breath. The commander's face was still a little green. Even if the armor-piercing projectile penetrated the gate, it would cause a lot of damage to the first 2 teams that he arranged to pass. This made the commander feel a little uncomfortable. In the entire army of soldiers, only Jerry's expression was a little different. His face was full of horror, and even his body was trembling slightly. He wanted to escape, but knew that the United States military would severely punish deserters. Escaped. I'm afraid I will spend my next life in prison. In Jerry's heart, the battle between heaven and man was always going on. Boom. The violent explosion, accompanied by fierce fire, sounded in front of the grocery store. Seeing this scene, the commander's mood instantly fell to the bottom. This sound is very different from the firelight. If the armor-piercing projectile penetrates the gate, the explosion will sound inside the gate instead of outside. Is it? The fire and smoke quickly dissipated in the breeze. The scene before him stunned all the soldiers. In front of the armor-piercing projectile that can penetrate the tank, the rolling door is undamaged? It doesn't matter if the bomb can't be exploded, it's an armor-piercing bullet. Only on the real battlefield, when facing local tanks and armored vehicles, will the armor-piercing bullets be used. Damn it. What's the situation? All the soldiers were dumbfounded. The commander was also forced. For a while, the scene was a little quiet and even more embarrassing. Commander, don't know what to do. The armor-piercing projectile can't be exploded, so what else can be done? Can't use nuclear bombs. The New York military district does have a nuclear bomb, but that thing is beyond its control. Even General Mike has no right to control it. And it is also impossible to drop a nuclear bomb in Manhattan. What should I do? At the moment, the rolling door, which could not even be penetrated by armor-piercing bullets, opened slowly by itself. But the strange thing is that after the rolling door was opened, there was not a single soldier coming out. And in the communicator, there was no sound at all. There was silence. What's the matter? What's the situation? All the soldiers felt chilly on their bodies, and they felt like hell. Where did those soldiers go? 2 teams of soldiers, at least a dozen people. Is it possible that Chengdu died in it? The rolling door, from closing to opening, only took more than 1 minute. What happened inside? Finally, when everyone was staring at the grocery store nervously, there was finally a trace of movement in the grocery store. It seems that there is something huge, slowly walking towards the door of the grocery store. Boom, boom, boom. A few seconds later, all the soldiers, as well as the commander, saw the figure over 2 meters tall. His whole body is silver gray, and he looks extremely mighty, with 2 huge amounts of eyes on his head showing weird shapes. The most horrible thing is his big mouth full of sharp teeth, the corners of his mouth grinning to the base of his ears. There was a long tongue sticking out of his mouth, drooling, and it looked quite disgusting. What kind of monster is that? Oh my god, it's so ugly, so terrible. Could it be that everyone inside was eaten by this monster? The soldiers began to discuss. At this moment, it was the commander who was the most calm and immediately issued the order to attack. Although the enemy does not look like a human being and is terrifying, he must make a decision as soon as possible. Attack all. Beat me into a sieve. The commander madly ordered in the communicator. Although everyone, including the commander, was nervous. But long-term training has given these soldiers the most skilled combat awareness. For a time, countless weapons fired, resounding across the sky. However, when they raised the guns in their hands and opened fire, they found that the monster had been lost in front of them. He actually disappeared, immediately afterwards. Behind a soldier, the riot reappeared. The mouth of the blood basin suddenly opened and bit the soldier's head directly. This scene was seen by all the soldiers around. They were terrified. The death of the first two assault teams did not make them afraid. But when this horrible thing happened around them, they were completely shocked. They could even hear the sound of the soldier's head being smashed into the riot's mouth. Crunch and crisp. Messed up. The entire army is in chaos. Countless soldiers began to flee in all directions. They no longer care about the consequences of being deserters. If you continue to stay here, it must be the end of the head bitten off. The commander was scared too, but sitting in the armored car, he felt safer than the soldiers outside. At the moment, he shouted roar loudly in the communicator. Everyone, don't run, attack me, attack. But his commands are no longer useful. No one listened to his orders. All the soldiers were running away. Even one of the armored vehicles turned their heads and drove away quickly. Inside this armored car is the armored car Jerry is in. When the riots appeared in front of everyone, Jerry, who was scared all the way, was calmer than the others. He had expected it to end like this a long time ago. Although the monster that appeared outside the grocery store was not the same as the one he had seen in the New York military base before, he had some resistance to the monster. At the moment, he suddenly climbed to the main driving position that was already scared and stupid, pushed his teammate aside, drove the armored car by himself, and quickly turned around. So many soldiers have already started to flee, and it's not bad to be one of them. The engine of the armored car made a violent roar. Jerry's face also seemed to show a hint of excitement. Compared with those running soldiers, it is much safer in an armored vehicle. He would never come to this terrifying grocery store if he didn't know that he would take a car to perform the task. However, just when the situation of the armored vehicle was less than 200 meters. In the sky, a strange figure suddenly fell from the sky. Boom. It fell directly on Jerry's armored car. A big hole was smashed into the roof of the armored car. With excitement in Erha's eyes, Lin Yu kicked him off the bumblebee. Erha actually couldn't help it a long time ago. Lin Yu and Erha were riding in the bumblebee and had already arrived above the grocery store. Although the military has sent 2 armed helicopters, it is impossible to spot the Hornet. After watching it quietly for a while, Lin Yu had no plans to shoot. He didn't even want Erha to make a move. After all, Xiao Hong Zui was created by Lin Yu himself. He wanted to see how Xiao Hong Zui and Riot would be after integrating. But what makes Lin Yu a little speechless is Erha lay on the glass of Bumblebee and looked down. When the riots were eating people, the horror in his mouth couldn't help but flow out. Simply disgusting. Erha just ate someone at Shield. I don't know if there is any strange liquid in the halazi that is flowing down now. Lin Yu sighed slightly. He opened the door of Bumblebee directly in the air and kicked Erha out. Bumblebee doesn't mind getting Erha's saliva, but Lin Yu does. But regarding Lin Yu's kick, Erha didn't mind at all. It wanted to go down a long time ago. The slaughter of symbionts in its body has long since been unable to bear it. I just ate that person, and I am totally puzzled. And it also aroused its appetite. SHIELD headquarters meeting room. Nick Fury and the Avengers are still thinking about how to explain Congressman Brooks' death. At this moment, Hill Agent knocked on the door suddenly and walked in. She leaned into Nick Fury's ear and said softly, "Director, our satellite monitored just now that the New York military district sent a team of soldiers to the door of Consultant Lin's grocery store and started a battle with a clerk of Consultant Lin." Nick Fury was taken aback for a moment and asked, "The clerk? Lin Yu's clerk had a battle with soldiers from the New York military district?" Nick Fury didn't understand what Hill meant. How could a clerk beat a group of soldiers? But thinking of being Lin Yu's clerk, Nick Fury is not so surprised. At this moment, Hill Agent put a miniature screen in front of Nick Fury. On the screen, it is the picture of micro-monitoring. A huge amounts of silver-gray monster is constantly walking through the night, biting each soldier's head. The soldiers fled in all directions, frightened. Nick Fury covered his forehead, sighed, and said, "Okay, I see, you go down." For this kind of thing, he is too lazy to deal with it now. Although the appearance of this monster is indeed within the scope of S.H.I.E.L.D. But the monster came out of Lin Yu's grocery store, so S.H.I.E.L.D. can't manage it. What's the matter with love? I still don't know how to deal with the things on my own side. New York Military District. General Mike, the head of the New York Military District, is watching the battlefield through cameras mounted on the heads of some soldiers. When he saw the silver-gray monster appear, he was also stunned by the sight. He has been in the army for so many years and has experienced many wars, but he has never seen such a terrible thing. At the moment, seeing that the monster was not afraid of any hot weapon attack, he hurriedly ordered the army to withdraw. But when he heard General Mike's order to retreat, it was already too late. A more terrifying monster suddenly appeared in front of the commander's armored vehicle. Its size is even bigger, with a big mouth, which can almost match the file size of armored vehicles. Without General Mike's command, all the soldiers had already started to flee outside. But they obviously had no chance to run away. It only took less than 2 minutes. The monitor in front of General Mike was completely black. Even the 2 armed helicopters were dragged down from the sky by Erha, who has a strong jumping ability. Moreover, there is no sound in all communication channels. This means that this team of more than 100 people has been wiped out. General Mike seemed to have lost his strength, and his butt collapsed on the seat behind him. He thought that this was just a very simple action. The use of armored vehicles and helicopter gunships is only to meet the requirements of Congressman Brooke. Unexpectedly, the enemy is so weird, so powerful, not even human. A few minutes later, General Mike then slowly took out his cell phone and dialed Congressman Brooke's number. He just wanted to figure out what the monster in that grocery store was. However, toot toot, there was a beeping sound on the phone, and no one answered it after making several calls. Definitely. What General Mike didn't know was that he wanted to please Congressman Brooke, and he might never have a chance to answer the phone again. Kamar Taj. After being contaminated by fel energy, Dr. Strange is immersed in fel learning every day. His hands had already been automatically healed by evil energy. But he didn't want to go back to the hospital and become a surgeon. He now has only one goal. That is, let the light of evil energy shine on the entire earth. The entire Kamar Taj, all magicians, have only this idea. They have all been thoroughly contaminated by evil energy. Compared with Dormammu of the Dark Dimension, the ability of fel energy to control people's thoughts is stronger. At the moment, a portal suddenly appeared in Kamar Taj. A magician in the holy place of London ran towards the portal on the other side of the portal. Behind him, there are a few guys whose eyes have turned black. They are Caecilius and others who have completely surrendered to Dormammu. Immediately afterwards, Caecilius suddenly threw out the weapon in his hand and killed the magician in the London holy place directly behind his back. Then, he suddenly bombarded London's holy place with the dark spell in his hand. There was a violent explosion all over the holy place in London. Then, the holy place disappeared. The magicians of Kamar Taj were shocked. The London holy place is one of the 3 most important holy places to protect the earth. If there are no 3 holy places, the earth will be invaded by Dormammu. At that time, I am afraid that Master Gul'dan will return again, and I am afraid that it will not be possible to snatch the earth back in Dormammu's hands. At this moment, the portal closed slowly. Ancient One magician's complexion was dignified, with green gleams in his eyes, and said to Mordor and Strange, "Mordor, you go to the holy place in Hong Kong. Strange, you go to the holy place in New York. You must protect the 2 major holy places in London are not destroyed. I will go to the holy place in London to have a look." The 3 men were divided into 3 groups and headed for the 3 holy places. For Gul'dan's orders, Ancient One magician strictly followed. Gul'dan kept her low-key development, she didn't have a high-key development at all. Therefore, the magician stationed in the 3 holy places, she did not teach them evil abilities. Even for secrecy, it has been a long time since they returned to Kamar Taj. So, Caecilius killed those magicians who guarded the holy place in London. They were all magicians that were not contaminated by evil energy. Those magicians don't know the Kamar Taj at the moment, and they are no longer the original Kamar Taj. And the Supreme Magician Ancient One is also not the previous Ancient One. Caecilius also didn't know. When Strange came to the holy place in New York, Caecilius also came to the holy place in New York. His purpose is very clear, and that is to destroy the 3 holy places and let Dormammu, the Lord of the Dark Dimension, descend on the earth. At the moment, he easily took his men in and killed the magician who was stationed in the holy place in New York. Compared to those magicians, after Caecilius borrowed Dormammu's power, his strength greatly increased. But at this moment, he suddenly raised his head and looked to the second floor. It happened to see Strange, who had just arrived. "Who are you? New here?" Caecilius didn't worry. In his opinion, the arrival of Dormammu is already inevitable. But Strange, a strange face, caught his attention. Because there was a green light in Strange's eyes. Something is wrong. Isn't he a magician? Not a magician. Why does it appear in the holy place in New York? "You can call me Dr. Strange," Strange said with a smile. Strange was not very nervous. After he gained fell energy, he never fought. He was looking forward to and excited about his first battle. The green glow in Strange's eyes became brighter and brighter. Caecilius frowned gradually. He didn't understand Strange's identity. "Doctor. Why is the doctor here? Who are you?" Caecilius was a little worried. He couldn't see the origin of Strange at all, and Caecilius seemed to smell a feint of danger in the opponent's green eyes. "Danger? No, I just got a part of Dormammu's power, how could I feel dangerous? Who the hell is this guy?" But Strange obviously didn't want to talk nonsense. In Kamar Taj, he didn't feel it much, but when he appeared in Holy Place in New York, he suddenly felt a lot of wonderful flavors. That is the breath of life. It seems that Caecilius and his two subordinates in front of him are the most delicious food. The corner of Strange's mouth was slightly raised, and he slowly walked down the stairs. He couldn't help it anymore. At this moment, he finally felt Mordu's feelings that day. This kind of delicious vitality is really too tempting for them who are just beginning to integrate evil energy and their self-control is not very strong. Two groups of green light suddenly appeared in Strange's hands. He did not hesitation, and the way is extremely weird. Caecilius hadn't realized the horror of the fell energy in Strange. After seeing Strange's behavior, he shouted coldly, "You are looking for death." Immediately afterwards, he pulled his hands in the void, and an invisible blade appeared in his hands. That is made up of dark forces. Two of his men also raised their weapons at the same time, preparing to fight viciously. However, at this time, Caecilius suddenly felt something was wrong. He felt that there seemed to be something in his body. He was being pulled thinking about flying outside. Immediately afterwards, what made him even more shocked happened. In Strange's hands, three green lights suddenly appeared, connecting to himself and his two subordinates in an instant. Then, my own soul also felt the terrifying suction. As a disciple of a former magician, Ancient One, he definitely knows soul astral. He is also quite familiar with the soul. But now, he found that his soul was being pulled out of his body by that green light. Caecilius and his two men were shocked. Half of their souls were pulled out in an instant, and the other half was still in their bodies. But even so, their bodies can no longer move. At this moment, Caecilius, whose soul had already left half of his body, turned his head, and suddenly found that from the perspective of the soul, there was a gray thing in his body that was being pulled out by the other's two green rays of light. Follow the green energy, rushing into the opponent's body. What is even more bizarre is that his body is aging at an extremely rapid rate. He already faintly understood what the gray energy that was being pulled out of his body was. That seems to be your own vitality. What the hell is this? Caecilius was frightened. He is now in a soul state, and there is absolutely no way to prevent the other party from absorbing his own vitality. Damn it. What to do? What makes Caecilius even more desperate is that his soul can't resist this terrifying suction, and is being pulled towards the opponent's body step by step. Compared to Caecilius, his two men are even worse. Caecilius could see that after only a few seconds, his two subordinates had become a bit old-fashioned. My condition is a little better, but wrinkles have just begun to appear on my face. At the moment Caecilius has only one means. His soul suddenly closed his eyes in midair. He is ready to cast that forbidden spell in soul form to link the great Dormammu. At this time, only Dormammu can save himself from this weird guy. Caecilius's soul began to chant the spell. At this time, a portal suddenly appeared beside Strange. The figure of Ancient One magician walked out of the portal. She went to the holy place in London before, and found that Cassia had already left, so she chased after him. Seeing Strange was absorbing the vitality of these three people, Ancient One frowned slightly. She slowly said, "Keep Caecilius's life, you can absorb the other two. Caecilius is still useful for me." If it had been before, Ancient One would definitely kill Caecilius. But now, the situation is a little different. Although Caecilius is not his own, his ability really has nothing to say. And Ancient One, the most important task now is to expand its power. For Caecilius, she is going to use fell energy to try if he can switch him to the arms of her master. If the evil energy can't make him obey, it won't be too late to kill him. Is the evil energy more powerful, or is the dark power more powerful? Ancient One has a deep understanding, because there are two kinds of energy in her body. At the moment, after hearing Ancient One's words, Strange slowly retracted the green light linking him and Caecilius. Caecilius's soul also began to slowly fly back into his body. But the vitality he lost, but he can't go back again. As soon as the soul returned to the body, Caecilius sacrificed his weapon again. His face was a little dignified, and he had lost his previous self-confidence. Strange's weird methods made him feel a little scared. The kind of ability that directly affects one's own vitality is really strange. Who is he? Caecilius asked again. This time, he asked Ancient One instead of Strange. At the moment, Ancient One smiled slightly, and did not rush to shoot, but said, "He is my new disciple, just like you, he has strong abilities." Hearing Ancient One's words, Caecilius's face became more confused. "Your disciple? What kind of spell does he use?" Caecilius asked. He used to learn spells from Ancient One for a long time, and he has basically learned all the spells he should learn. But he had never seen such a weird spell. That can't even be considered a spell, more like witchcraft. Ancient One walked towards Caecilius slowly, and suddenly two green lights appeared in her eyes. Ancient One slowly said again, "After you left Kamar Taj, great changes have taken place there. Master Gul'dan, the great fell warlock, imparted fell energy to me. That kind of power is more powerful than the dark power. And as long as you learn the evil energy, the immortality you have always wanted to have can easily be achieved." Fell energy? Caecilius was slightly surprised. Although he has now surrendered to Dormammu, he still has his own thoughts. Dormammu can't control Caecilius's thoughts through two universes. Therefore, he was quite surprised by Ancient One's statement. She actually learned another kind of energy, and this name does not sound like a force for peace. This is obviously not in line with Ancient One's image of pretending to be a savior. After I left Kamar Taj, what happened there? Yes, it's the Fell, the Great Master. The Fell Warlock Gul'dan will soon come to Earth again. I hope you can join us and become the commander of the Great Master. At the moment's Ancient One has come, it was 2 or 3 meters in front of Caecilius. Caecilius could even see the green energy flowing slowly in Ancient One's eyes. That power is exactly the same as the green energy in Strange. Evil and weird. Only Dormammu can save our world, and only Dormammu can let us exceed the constraints of time. Caecilius still believes in Dormammu's power. While talking, he raised the weapon in his hand. In the face of Ancient One, he dared not be careless. And such a weird Ancient One is completely different from the supreme magician he knew before. Hearing what Caecilius said, Ancient One did not have any accidents at all. She smiled slightly and said, "Since you don't believe me as before, then I will let you feel the power of evil energy." A touch of green also appeared in Ancient One's hands. At the same time, Caecilius also waved the weapon in his hand and attacked Ancient One. At this time, Caecilius was horrified to find that he couldn't move anymore. Compared to its own methods, Ancient One is faster. In her hand, like Strange, a green light appeared. Then, that green light instantly connected to his body. Caecilius was shocked. Is it possible that oneself will be absorbed in vitality again? I am already a lot older now. If I get sucked again, I'm afraid I will die of old age before seeing Dormammu. But when the green light touched his body, Caecilius realized that Ancient One had not absorbed his own vitality. Nor did he pull his soul out of the body. On the contrary, there is a scorching energy that is transmitted into his body along the green light belt. That power flowed through his body in an instant. Limbs, chest, even brain. Caecilius's body regained its youth in an instant. All the wrinkles on the skin disappeared. The white silk in the hair has all turned black. This surprised Caecilius a little. He didn't expect the evil energy to be so powerful. What he hopes most is to be able to live forever. And evil energy, it seems to be able to increase your lifespan. This kind of vitality comes simpler and fuller. Before the evil energy completely swallowed Caecilius, his loyalty to Dormammu, Lord of Darkness, had already cracked. Immediately afterwards, all evil energy poured into his brain. There was also a green light in his eyes. Caecilius's expression began to show a trace of intoxication. Among those evil energies, he saw a great and sacred power, as well as a terrifying green figure. In his heart, he couldn't help but have thoughts of worshipping and surrendering to that figure. And that figure is Gul'dan. The fell energy on Ancient One magician comes from Gul'dan. Then, the fell energy on Caecilius naturally also carries a trace of Gul'dan's power. 2 minutes later, the green band of light between Ancient One Magician and Caecilius slowly dissipated. The transmission of fell energy is over. Caecilius slowly opened his eyes, and 2 strong green lights shone out. At the moment, when he looked at Ancient One and Strange again, there was no hostility at all. There was no black around his eyes either. The dark power's control over him completely ended. At the moment, Caecilius has completely surrendered to Gul'dan. Although he had never seen Gul'dan in the real world. But whenever Gul'dan appeared in front of him, he would obey Gul'dan. At this moment, Strange finally completed the first swallowing of vitality. The 2 subordinates of the original Caecilius had turned into 2 corpses, slowly falling to the ground. But Strange was obviously still interested. The feeling of absorbing other people's lives to increase one's own vitality is simply amazing. His gaze turned to Caecilius again, but when Caecilius saw the green light flashing in his eyes, he suddenly stopped. Since Caecilius also possesses the power of fell energy, he is a teammate, so naturally he can't attack him anymore. At this moment, Strange looked out the window suddenly. After he tasted the sweetness of absorbing vitality, he felt endless vitality on the passers-by outside the window. He unexpectedly involuntarily walked slowly towards the gate of the holy place in New York. But at this time, Ancient One suddenly reached out and stopped Strange's move. Strange woke up suddenly. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Only then did he realize that he had been affected by evil energy to his mind. At this time, Ancient One slowly said, "When the Master Gul'dan left, he once ordered us to develop in a low-key manner, so don't act rashly. It will cause too much confusion and easily expose our existence." Lin Yu did not know what happened to Kamar Taj in the holy place in New York. At the moment, in the grocery store, Lin Yu is comforting the crying little red braid. After transforming into a riot, he couldn't control his body at all. But he can know what he did. In the previous few minutes, he has resisted vigorously. However, it failed to stop the riot and ate dozens of people. Those human heads, after entering the throat of the riot, would be crushed by the fangs in his mouth, and then turned into a paste and flowed into his stomach. Despite the help of the riots, the digestion of these heads was quick. After eating dozens of them, I didn't feel my belly open. But after finishing the transformation, Xiao Hong Braid still vomited on the ground. He didn't know if there was any food leftovers in his stomach. But even if there is no food scraps, he can't accept that he has swallowed dozens of heads. To this, Lin Yu was also helpless. "I can only comfort me from the side. What's the big deal about eating a few heads, a man? Are you afraid of this little thing? Look at Erha, eat more than you, it even eats ass, not like you silly vomiting." Hearing Lin Yu's words, Xiao Hong Braid turned his head and said bitterly, "Boss, me, I will just vomit for a while." Vomit. A few months later, on the space carrier. During this period, Lin Yu's life is still very peaceful. And nothing too much has happened on Earth. It seems that because of Lin Yu's existence, many plots that should have appeared disappeared. Even Dormammu did not come to Earth because of the evil energy. Because all his followers, except Caecilius, were killed. Caecilius, on the other hand, gave up his beliefs and submitted to Gul'dan. This makes Dormammu's only hope all gone. Therefore, Lin Yu couldn't collect plot points from Dormammu. But Lin Yu didn't care either. Anyway, it's only 4 plot points away from the System-S advancement. And it seems that Thanos hasn't come yet. As long as Thanos doesn't snap that finger, Lin Yu's current 5-level system should be enough for anything. But Lin Yu has also arranged bumblebees to monitor and report any alien life that comes to the Earth from the outside. With Bumblebee, so many cameras and so many mobile phones on the whole Earth are Lin Yu's eyeliner. But in the distant universe, many big events have happened. Odin finally couldn't hold it, and died. His original lifespan has reached the end. Only by relying on his own supernatural power, has he survived until now. Something different from the movie plot is that in the movie, Odin died on Earth. It was Loki who exiled him to Earth, but in reality, Loki did not exile Odin to the Earth. Because Loki didn't dare to come to Earth, so Odin died in Asgard. Loki and his brother Thor, the two witnessed Odin's death with their own eyes. Before Odin died, he told Thor and Loki about the existence of Hela. And, to Thor and Loki solemnly confessed that Hela must not be allowed to come to Asgard, otherwise her power will become stronger and stronger, and eventually no one can match. Fortunately, Hela's imprisoned at the same time. After Odin died, Thanos finally won his first infinite gems. He got the power gem after destroying the Xandal star. Immediately afterwards, he learned about Odin's death. Then, he finally started his plan. Thanos' spacecraft began to head towards Nidavellir. Legend has it that only the dwarf clan in that place can make weapons capable of carrying 6 infinite gems. At the same time, the Hornet, who was monitoring the entire world, suddenly came to Lin Yu's side, and then reported, "Boss, the person you made me pay attention to, there is news, R." Lin Yu was shocked when he heard the words of Bumblebee. "Which person?" Lin Yu asked hurriedly. He made the Hornet pay attention to a few people, including Thanos and his Obsidian 5 generals, and Hela, the goddess of death. Because the Marvel plot has progressed to the present, the main characters in the Marvel world, Lin Yu, have basically been seen. It seems that among the villains, only the 2 core characters, Thanos and Hela, have not seen them. Among the protagonists, there is only Doctor Strange. These 3 people, as long as they see 2 of them, they can get at least 4 plot points. The promotion requirements of your own system can be met. And Lin Yu had already anticipated. Hela, the goddess of death, is the most likely to appear first. Because after Odin died, she would immediately break through the blockade of Odin's divine power and ran out of Niflheim, which is the underworld. The only way to connect Niflheim is the seaside in Norway. Lin Yu specifically found the location for this purpose and set up a camera there. As soon as Hela appears, Bumblebee will find her. At the moment. Upon hearing Lin Yu's question, Bumblebee also hurriedly replied, "Boss, that woman named Hela." Lin Yu's eyes lit up suddenly. Hela, finally here. For the role of Hela, Lin Yu still likes it very much. This is almost his favorite villain in the entire Marvel world. She does things in her own way, does whatever she wants, and never hides her true inner thoughts. And never feel sorry for others. If you like to kill and conquer, just do it directly, so you don't hide it. This is a woman of true temperament. Compared to Thanos, the guy who talks about saving the universe all day long, Lin Yu actually likes Hela more. Go. Let's go there and have a look. Lin Yu beckoned Roar with a Bumblebee, and Erha not far away. Then, when Erha and Bumblebee were close to him, Lin Yu slowly closed his eyes. In front of him, a spatial ripple suddenly appeared. Lin Yu's mouth curled slightly, and then led Erha and Bumblebee into the ripples of space. At the moment, Norwegian seaside, Hela just walked out of Niflheim. When she saw the scenery on the earth, a smile suddenly appeared on her face. Niflheim is also called the underworld, and it is full of lifeless appearances. After living there for thousands of years, Hela would have been unable to stand it. And now, it's finally out. She took a deep breath of fresh air in Roar, and immediately felt that the whole person was much more comfortable. Next, I have to find a way to return to Asgard. Hela smiled slightly, her goal was obvious. In these thousands of years in Niflheim, she has been thinking about revenge against Asgard all the time. Although Odin is dead, the other Asgard people must all kneel in front of him. Those who don't surrender themselves will die. However, just then, Hela seemed to notice something suddenly. She turned her head slightly and looked at a place not far from her side. There seemed to be a slightly invisible spatial ripple. Immediately afterwards, 3 figures came out from inside. A huge amounts of robot, a human, and a dog. What is this strange combination? A look of doubt appeared on Hela's face. Hela, the goddess of death, has been exiled to the underworld for thousands of years. She had been to the earth thousands of years ago. The earth at that time was still desolate and technologically backward. Let alone robots, the number of humans is very small. But now, there are robots on the earth, and that human being also seems to have evolved much more normal than the humans on earth thousands of years ago. But although the Hornet looked very powerful, Hela didn't care at all. Her strength is even stronger. Although she hasn't returned to Asgard, her strength cannot continue to improve, but her original strength is already enough to disregard all the lives in this universe. Even Odin, only when he is strongest, can crush the goddess of death Hela. And now, after Odin died, Hela felt that no one in this world could restrain herself anymore. So, even though Hela just came out of the underworld, her mood was very relaxed. Unexpectedly, Midgard has developed to this level, Hela said with emotion. At the moment, Lin Yu just walked out of the ripples of space and found Hela, who was watching him. Sure enough, just like in the movie, Hela is still so prestigious. Lin Yu smiled slightly, and system reminders sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for first meeting Hela, the core protagonist of the Marvel world, and earning 2 plot points. After obtaining these 2 plot points again, Lin Yu's plot point has reached 48 points, which is only 2 points away from the system upgrade. Lin Yu is in a good mood. Hello, goddess of death Hela. Lin Yu said slowly with a smile. For Hela, Lin Yu has an unconcealable appreciation on his face. There are two aspects to this appreciation. One aspect is character, the other aspect is naturally figure. Hela's figure, naturally, did not say. It's just that the age is a bit older. They are all thousands of years old, but for Asgard people, it can't be regarded as too old, just as being in the prime of life. Lin Yu remembered his glasses and hadn't brought them for a long time. Then, in front of Hela, he took out his glasses from his arms and put them on his face. It's really good. Hela was suddenly taken aback when he heard Lin Yu's words. She didn't expect Lin Yu to know herself. I have left this world for thousands of years, and when I left, there were very few humans on the earth. How did he know himself? Who are you? You are not from Midgard? Hela asked suspiciously. She was a little nervous. Lin Yu spread his hands and said again, I am definitely an earthling, but I have met your father and two younger brothers. Lin Yu's words aroused Hela's interest again. Oh? Do I have two younger brothers? Hela asked. She was in the underworld and completely cut off contact with the outside world, so naturally she didn't know the existence of Thor and Loki. Hela is not a person who likes to talk too much with strangers. But since she just got out of trouble, she still gave Lin Yu many opportunities to speak. Yes, one is Thor and the other is Loki. Are you going to kill them both? Lin Yu said with a smile. Hearing what Lin Yu said, Hela became more and more interested in Lin Yu. It seems that this person not only knows his own existence, but also knows himself very well. Kneel down, Hela said suddenly, very abrupt. Lin Yu didn't react for a while. Kneel, you will be my first man after I come back, Hela said coldly. She is very interested in Lin Yu and even wants to take Lin Yu as a subordinate. But it is natural that Lin Yu cannot be her subordinate. And Lin Yu, what he thinks is, to subdue Hela. They thought of it together, at this moment. Lin Yu showed a smile again on his face, and then said, I'm afraid, we thought of being together, you kneel down and recognize me as the master, I will forgive you for your disrespect just now. This sentence made Hela completely angry. Her hands gently followed her forehead and moved back. A black hair instantly turned into a fighting form like antlers. Then, in her hands, two magic swords with metallic luster suddenly appeared. This is her strongest and one of the most commonly used ability. But just when Hela was ready to take action on Lin Yu, in Lin Yu's mind, the system reminder sounded. Ding, Hela, the goddess of death, has thoughts of disrespect to the host. Her magic sword has mutated. Within 30 minutes, the magic sword has undergone a negative mutation and became a plastic sword. As soon as the system prompt was finished, Lin Yu discovered that the two magic swords in Hela's hand had suddenly changed. The appearance that was originally glowing with metallic luster has actually begun to become transparent. Then, in a second or two, it became two plastic long swords. Hela also instantly noticed the change of the long sword in her hand. The plastic long sword is much lighter than your own magic long sword. There was a panic expression on her face suddenly. What's the situation? She raised the plastic long sword in her hand and said to herself regretfully. Nothing, as long as you surrender to me, your magic sword will return to normal again, Lin Yu said. Even a god as powerful as Hela can't resist the power of the system at all. Although the system is still only level 5, it has made Lin Yu almost invincible. But obviously Hela was not prepared to just surrender to Lin Yu. Her heart is extremely arrogant. At this moment, Hela suddenly threw out the two plastic long swords in her hand and attacked Lin Yu. Although the magic sword became plastic, she couldn't give up. But at this time, when two plastic long swords quickly attacked Lin Yu, in Lin Yu's mind, the system prompt sounded again. Ding. The goddess of death Hela shot the host, and the space in front of her mutated, connecting the space behind her. When the system prompt sounded, both Lin Yu and Hela found that a spatial ripple suddenly appeared between the two of them. When the two plastic long swords came to the space ripples, they suddenly disappeared. And appeared behind Hela in an instant. Even Hela didn't react at all. I was instantly stabbed in the butt by two plastic long swords. But fortunately, the two long swords have been turned into plastic materials, which are not very lethal at all. Definitely. Even if they become plastic long swords, after Hela throws them, their power is not small. If the target is replaced by an ordinary earthling, it will definitely be pierced through the body. However, Hela's physical defenses are very strong. The two magic swords just made her feel that her butt was suddenly stabbed by a needle, and it hurt. In front of an outsider, he stabbed his ass with his long sword? Somewhat embarrassing. Hela is finally angry. But, although Hela's face was a bit ugly, however, she was not in a hurry to make a move. Because, in front of her and Lin Yu, there is this space ripple. She doesn't know much about space ability, but the scene just now made her very alert. Reminiscent of Lin Yu's first appearance, this obviously means that the man has some terrible spatial power. And now, what I need most is space ability. Want to go to Asgard? There is no space power, it is difficult to reach. Unless Bifrost of Asgard took the initiative to greet him. But that is impossible. It's okay to be a spacecraft, but it also needs something like a space wormhole. Otherwise, just rely on the spacecraft flight. I don't know that the Year of the Monkey can fly there. Your ability, can you travel through space? Hela asked coldly. Lin Yu smiled slightly and said, definitely, my ability, I can take you to Asgard. Hela's eyes lit up when he heard Lin Yu's answer. What she wants most now is to return to Asgard. There, not only can you make yourself stronger and stronger, but also your previous subordinates. Hela was already moved. For Lin Yu's ability, I was a little moved. It's not that I want to surrender Lin Yu. Ding, the goddess of death. Hela was overwhelmed by the host's ability, and there was a hint of surrender in her heart. Lin Yu's system has been upgraded to the present, even if it is not his own, it has been able to mutate. Among them, definitely includes other lives. Even a powerful life like Hela. At the moment, there seemed to be a sudden flash of light in Hela's mind. In the face of such a weird powerhouse, it seems that I shouldn't use such a tough method. What if you pretend to be surrendered to him? Thought of this, Hela was suddenly excited. If you surrender yourself, then let him send yourself to Asgard. At that time, his strength has improved, just kill him again. After killing him, no one knew his own history. After all, history is written by victors. At this moment, looking at Hela, who was looking down and meditating, Lin Yu gave her another step. Look, if you surrender to me, I can send you to Asgard and fully support all your ideas and goals. Moreover, I decided that even if you surrender to me, you don't need to kneel after seeing me. How? Would you like to think about it? Lin Yu said calmly. Lin Yu also doesn't like others to kneel when they see him. And, through the system prompts, Lin Yu has discovered that Hela seems to be hesitation. Since Hela has mutated, as long as she chooses to surrender to herself, even if it is not sincere, then through the control of the system, she can no longer escape. Just like Gul'dan. At this moment, Hela finally nodded slowly. She whispered, are you sure? Can you send me back to Asgard? Lin Yu nodded hurriedly. Said, definitely, go wherever you want to go. Hela was silent for a while again. Then, the ghost said horribly, okay, then I will surrender to you. Just when Hela said this sentence, in Lin Yu's mind, the system prompt sounded again. Ding, Hela, the goddess of death, speaks out the surrender to the host. The fake drama is true, and he can never betray. After the system prompts, although Hela didn't hear it, her thoughts suddenly changed. She didn't even notice it. She suddenly felt that being Lin Yu's subordinate made her feel very comfortable. It seems that I should have been Lin Yu's subordinates. At this moment, Hela walked forward slowly 2 steps and came to Lin Yu's face. And Lin Yu didn't have any fear in his eyes. Since the system says that Hela can't betray herself at all, then it is impossible for her to betray herself. Even the most powerful god cannot escape the control of the system. Under Lin Yu's gaze, Hela, the goddess of death, leaned slightly and said respectfully, Master. Hela completely became Lin Yu's subordinate. Lin Yu is quite excited. But, although Hela is now Lin Yu's subordinate, she still has her own thoughts. Not a puppet. She still wants to accomplish her goal. In this regard, Lin Yu is not prepared to stop. Lin Yu also wanted to see what this Marvel world would become if Asgard were not destroyed and Hela still existed. Anyway, Hela is her own subordinate, no matter how she toss, it will be fine. Good. Lin Yu shouted happily. Then, he smiled slightly and said, since you have already surrendered to me, then I will meet your requirements. Lin Yu's mind moved slightly, and there was a spatial ripple beside him and Hela. Hela's eyes suddenly lit up. She had already guessed where the ripples in this space lead. Thank you, Master. Hela said sincerely. She became more and more satisfied with being Lin Yu's subordinate. But, at this time, Lin Yu suddenly said, I can indeed send you to Asgard, but after you go to Asgard, it is not completely safe. Ragnarok is about to arrive. At that time, flame giant Surta will destroy the entire Asgard. Hela's face suddenly became cold when he heard Lin Yu's words. She naturally heard the legend of Ragnarok. However, in her opinion, it is just a legend. Master, as long as I return to Asgard, Ragnarok is impossible. At that time, the real Asgard will be surrendered to the Master, Hela said coldly. Although she surrendered to Lin Yu, her aloof personality still hasn't changed. Flame Giant, in her opinion, is just a chicken dog. But for Lin Yu, who is familiar with Marvel's plot, it is not difficult to help Hela solve this difficulty. Lin Yu smiled slightly and said, "Don't be careless, although you will indeed become stronger after you return to Asgard, but when Surta's crown bathes in the eternal fire, he will become flame, which is taller than the mountain. Giant, although he can't defeat you, he can destroy Asgard. Without Asgard, your strength will increase." The weaker. Master, what should I do? Hela asked. If someone else said that, she would have killed him with a single sword. But Lin Yu's words, she had to take it seriously. And at the moment, Lin Yu raised the corner of his mouth slightly, then said, "I have a good way."